explain again what is going to happen today. First, we are going to have like some lectures of some non-cis male colleagues that are going to present their work, their experience, and whatever they want to share with us. This is going to start now, and it's going to last around like 2 hours and a half or 3, it depends. So the people that is going to present is Maria, Sebe, Nuri, Natasha, Lois, Clara, sorry, what are Lois, Cinco, no. And then no, Imanon, okay, sorry. And then after that we are going to have like a lunch break that is going to last around like 1 hour and a half, and at 2 we need to gather again because we are going to do the final workshop about trying to put everything that we were talking about in some paper so we can do later like some kind of protocol for like at least for CoopCycle, or that can be shared outside CoopCycle to other couriers Coops if they want. And after that, we thought about taking about 2 hours and a half, and then our expectation is to do a closing event, like doing a summary about everything that we have talked about. And then at 6 is going to be an alicat, and then dinner time. So I think...
What is alicat? What is
a race? Es como una carrera...
Come on, someone can explain what is an alicat.
Es que... Sí, es como una especie de gincana carrera. No,
it's like a race where you have checkpoints, you have places where you have to go, and someone wins.
The most important thing is someone wins.
Not the first, not the first.
Not the first.
Not the first.
Not the fastest.
Okay, so we are going to start with the first one that is going to be Tsebe from Cleta, and she's going to talk about, Cleta is a cooperative based in Madrid, and she's going to talk about her experience. Yep. And now you have like about 30 minutes or something.
Okay. Okay. So, good morning. I have to say that I'm pretty nervous. It's not easy to do that, to do this. It's not easy to start. I just got the coffee, morning coffee, so I'll try to do my best. In case you don't understand me, feel free to raise up your hand and ask me wherever you need to make me clear. English is not my mother tongue, so I might not explain myself properly. It's pretty difficult to do this right now. Okay, so I have come to call my speech, or what I'm going to say to you now, assistance without a reference. And I'm going to talk about my experience as a non-male courier, right? So yeah, as it has been said, I'm Maria. My nickname is Cheve. You can call me Maria or Cheve, it doesn't matter. I come from Madrid. I have been working in Madrid as a courier for the last 13 years. In the beginning, couriering was not my only job. I have many different jobs, and couriering was one of them. And then 8 years ago, I opened up a cooperative with my friends called Cleta, and since that very moment, couriering is my all-day job, we can say. So, how can I explain this? When I came into the courier community, I did it with men. I mean, Madrid is quite a small community, mostly men. And it was 2007 or something like this when I got in contact with the community through my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend now, but like it usually happens. And when I got there, it was all men. And it has been like this for many, many years. So, and in that time, it was the times of a guy, I mean, just so we can put it somewhere in history, in courier history, Lucas Brunelle style. You know who is Lucas Brunelle? Yes. Okay, Lucas Brunelle is a guy from North America. I don't know from which city. And he is one of these guys that represents, I mean, I'm using him as an example. He represents this idea of the courier as a strong man on a bicycle, being fast and being cool, you know? So he made this movie, he has made a lot of movies, but he made this movie that is called Line of Sight, which is about the, what is the name of the truck, Monster Truck, about a race that is happening in New York every year that is called Monster Truck and Alley Cat. And this is the Monster Truck of the year 2006, I think, or something like that. And basically that movie is expressed very well, like the idea of this image of the superhero on a bicycle that is the courier and he's a man. And this is the culture I came to even more than 20 years ago. And I really liked the place and I really liked the community, but I was surrounded by men. I was the only woman there. And I have to say that these people I met in that very moment are still my family, are still my friends. They are the reason why I'm a courier today. It's the people I love, and it's the people that put me on a bike and told me, deliver this, you can do it. So I have to say that I love them, and they are my family. But they are still men, and they still have their way of doing things, right? So when Audi told me to come here and talk about my experience, I decided that, well, she told me to come here and talk, basically. She didn't give me any guidelines, so I thought, okay, what can I say? So then I started to recap all my experience with the courier culture, with the courier community, and with my job. And I realized that I have been working for many, many years with something that in Spanish we call síndrome de la impostora, which would be like pretender syndrome. Like you are doing something, but you are pretending you are doing it. Like in yourself, you still believe you are not good enough. And I realized I have been doing this job for 13 years thinking I was not enough. I was never going to be like the proper messenger, because it was impossible to be the proper messenger, because the image of the messenger I had in my head was that guys in Lucas Brunelle movies that were tough guys on a bike, being fast, being strong, being smart, and no matter how much I effort myself, I will never fulfill that image because I'm mainly not a guy. So it was impossible for me to fulfill that image. I was working, and I'm working as a courier because I really like the job, because I really enjoy working on a bike, because I really enjoy waking up every morning to grab my bike and go out in the city and do the thing. But I always had this feeling that I was not enough. And I always have this feeling from all my mates that, as I have said, I love them and they are my family, that somehow they had this relationship with me that was a bit of a paternal relationship, you know? Like they were like, I was their little kid, and they were like, oh, Maria, you are doing it okay, you are doing it okay, you know? Like they were always judging my work, valuing my work, and I've had this need of being approved by them. I mean, it's both ways thing. It was not only them. I mean, I'm not blaming them. As I said, I love them. But it was both ways relationship. I felt that I needed their approval to feel good in my own work. And I haven't been aware of this for many, many years. And then, like a year ago or something like this, I was in the office with my colleague. She is called Pamela, and she started to work with us 3 years ago. She had never been a courier before, and it was in our cooperative, we have the necessity to hire someone, and I said, this girl is coming with us, because I really wanted to give the opportunity to a girl to do this. And we were talking to each other with a beer, and I told her this, like, I feel like a fucking loser, you know? Doing this fucking job. I'm never fast enough. I'm never strong enough. She looked at me and she said, what the fuck? I feel like a queen. I'm a queen on the bicycle when I get out there and I deliver things. And I was like, what? How can it be? And then we keep silent for a while, and then we came to this conclusion that she had a reference. She had me as a reference. And I'm not saying this because I'm the best, no. But I'm not the best. But because when she came into this community, she came with me. So she had a reference. She had someone to look at that was like herself. So she could recognize herself, identify with herself with someone else. But I hadn't had that. I had always had men around me. So I had never been able to fulfill the image of what a proper courier should be. And that was so deep inside me. I was not even aware. It was just inside me. I was not able to see it. So it was like, wow, that's true. You had me as a reference, but I didn't have any reference. So then I started to think, I started to think two things. Why do I feel like a loser? Why do I feel like a pretender? And it's because all this speech, we can say, or all this culture based on being fast and being strong and being very male is an image that I cannot fulfill, and it's a speech I cannot feel identified with. And on the other side, I was thinking, okay, who are my reference now? Who is the people I look at now and make me feel part or like really supported in this community? And then the faces of my friends, girlfriends, came into my head. Many of you know Viñeta, I think you do, like Viñeta, Charlie from Berlin, like many non-male couriers that I have met over the years in the championships. I realized that they are my references. They are the people I look at when I want to find my community. And this took me to a very beautiful thinking or beautiful thought, that is that this reference of mine is people that I can actually talk to. It's people that I can actually hug when I get to see them. It's people I can share with. It's people I can sit with a beer and share my experience and share my day and do it on a very similar basis regarding emotional, psychological, physical necessities. So that will be my first conclusion, that finding each other on the way we are doing, on the way that understanding courier community as a very male-dominated community in which women and non-cis people, we have to like chase each other and find each other in championships, in gatherings like this one, has a very special power. That is that in a world that is based on social media and Lucas Brunelle movies and all this kind of stuff, we actually are building up a strength and a community that is based in real human contact. We get to talk to each other. We get to see each other. We get to hug each other. And I think this is very revolutionary, fucking revolutionary, what the fuck. And very powerful, because in this world in which everything is made through a screen, we are jumping out, we are going back to the analogic life, and we are meeting each other, looking into each other's eyes and saying, wow, recognizing each other. I have to tell this story that in Riga, in the World Championship in 2018, there was this girl, Sandra, from Germany, I think it's Düsseldorf, I don't remember. She was the second one in the main race, and she got the prize and everything, and then I went to congratulate her, like, hey, well done. And then we spoke to each other, like, hey, I'm from Düsseldorf, yeah, I'm from Madrid, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm the only girl in the office, she said. And I said, yeah, I'm also the only girl in the office. And then we kept silent for like 30 seconds, looking into each other's eyes, like, wow. And then she said, I'm gonna think about you. And I said, I'm gonna think about you too. And I swear, I have thought about her many, many times. Many, many days, I have thought, Sandra is there somewhere, going through the same shit I'm going right now. Because everyday life surrounded by men, I mean, it's nice, I love them, they are my family, I will fight for them no matter what. But still, there are some gaps that you cannot fulfill. There is some stuff like you cannot feel understood by anyone. Little example, having your period. When you have your period, you still have to go out there and work. And maybe you feel dizzy, and maybe you feel fucking tired, and you can tell it to your male partners, but they will never get the feeling of how it is to be like that. So that's what I mean when I thought I was lacking references. Like, I'm lacking to have someone I can sit next to and I can actually talk openly about how I feel and what are my thoughts in my mind right now. So yeah, as I was saying, I think it's super important, this thing we are growing up among women and non-cis male couriers, that we are finding each other, we are looking for each other, we are talking to each other, we are hugging each other, we are supporting each other, and we are doing it in human contact. And this, at least for me, has been very important and is still very important. And I hope we keep it for many, many years, because we are building something else apart from the image you can look at in Instagram and in Lucas Brunelle movies and in all those spaces, and also in the publicity of the big companies. If you look to Chrome bags or, I don't know, many of the advertisements for bikes, not nowadays, but till 2 or 3 years ago, it were all men. I mean, there were no women in Omnium advertisement, but women we are riding Omniums, you know? I mean, it's just like, you are not there. You are not finding yourself. You are not finding those references that can somehow give you this support. And then I started to think, okay, if I have found my references, why are there my references? What is the difference between male and non-male couriers? Why I found these ones more like my references? And then I thought about the speech, like the priorities we have in this work. As I said, when I became part of the community, everything that was put on the table was to be fast, to be strong, to be smart, you know? But when you meet women, new things are coming on the table. Like, for example, taking care of your body. We use our bodies a lot in this work. And in the community, till some years ago, it was all about being fast and drinking beers. And try it harder, you know? Try harder, go over your limits. And when I have met non-cis male couriers, the things that were coming on the table was like, hey, how does your body feels? How are you today? How, like, going into a different place, doing it from a different place. It's not about being the fastest, it's about being the healthiest on physical regards, for example, because you are going to need your body tomorrow and the day after and the day after, because things will need to be delivered every day. Another thing is the mental health. I think many non-male couriers have put on the table the idea of mental health. This world is not easy, and couriering somehow is a job that we choose to be free, to ride bikes every day. And that has a lot of emotional power and a lot of and a different psychology into it. So I think also this new speech that this new non-male community is bringing up is like, how do we treat ourselves? How do we talk to each other? How do we deal with stress? How we dispatch? How we give jobs to each other? How do we talk to each other when we finish the shift? How do we talk about our job? If we are like, hey, today I did this and I did that and I went here and I went there, or if we are just like, hey, how are you? How was your shift? I had fun. Yeah, I had fun too. Well done for you. You know, like, it's a different approach. And I think this different approach is taking a lot of care in mental health. And that's very important in the world in which we live today, in which mental health is a fucking crazy issue. Another thing that I think this new speech is bringing up is like the way you treat your co-workers. We were talking a lot yesterday about what happens when in a cooperative you have an internal conflict. And I think this new way, or not new, because we have been there for many years, but this different way of doing things is putting a lot of effort in maybe not being the fastest, but being the kindest. Being nice to the people that is surrounding you. Being nice to the people that is part of your family. Being nice to the people that you are sharing your experience with. And that's very important. Because the experience, I mean, I'm talking about my experience, but it's not my experience. It's my experience and the experience of everybody I have shared it with. So we are part of a community, and that means we have to take care of the community. Because if not, I mean, we can be the fastest on an alley cat, but then we will be alone. And I have seen many, many guys being the fastest, being the smartest, but being fucking lonely. So I think bringing up this topic of how do you treat the people that is around you is super important. And therefore, I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. And I have had to learn a lot, mostly when I starting up a cooperative and being the boss of other people. Which kind of boss do I want to be? And how do I want to talk to the people that is working with me and for me? I'm the one that is going to give them orders. How do I want to give these orders? How do I want to talk to them? How do I want to integrate them in my organization, in the way that we do things here? Do I really want to integrate them, or do I want to tell them, do this and do it fast? And I don't care if today you have your period, or you are going through a rough time in your life, or if you just got a breakup with your couple, or whatever. I mean, I think it's important to actually think about that, mostly in a cooperative community-based. And also, yeah, the stress management. Our work, I mean, I'm a courier, but I'm also a dispatcher. And I think dispatcher can be pretty stressful, also being out there in the traffic, but being out there in the traffic and dispatching at the same time can be super stressful. And you need to learn how to deal with that stress, so you don't bring it into your organization. You don't bring it to your partners. You don't bring it to the colleagues. Or in case you are overwhelmed, you are able to say, hey, I'm overwhelmed, I need help. You know, I'm not a hero right now. I'm someone that is vulnerable and needs help. And I think it's very important to put this on the table, because when you are on a bike and your body is strong and you are able to do things that people is like, wow, are you gonna carry this in a bike? You feel like you can do everything, but truth is that many times and many days shit happens, and you're gonna need help, and you are gonna need to say, hey, today I'm weak, today I'm vulnerable, today I need help. And that's important. And that needs to be something we have to talk about. Also, clients care, and that will go both ways. In our cooperative, we have talked a lot about which kind of clients do we want to work for, and how do we want to treat our clients. And I am really happy to say that most of our clients are people who believe in our jobs, in our work, and they are aligned with our values. And that makes our everyday life much easier. And we have also put a lot of effort in questioning how do we treat our clients, how do we talk to them. And I think it's important that in everyday life, when you have these phone calls that your client is super stressed and this stress is going to you, you are able to have the mental strength and the mental health that is built with your colleagues in the office to treat your client well and to give a good service to your client, and not also to be fast on the bike, but also to be smart on the phone, to be able to be efficient, but at the same time be kind. And that's a challenge, because in everyday life, things are like, pa, 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 I need this now. Think about a Christmas rush. Everybody needed everything for yesterday, and they are calling now. And you know, like, you need to be there, to be nice, to be kind, but still do the thing. Okay, let me read my notes, because, and also, I mean, the spaces we use, the office, the toilet, messenger toilets. What a game, eh? To pee in there. So this is also important, like, to think about the spaces that we use. And I have realized that in my office, for example, I was there with 10 men, and then Pamela came, and now the office is cleaner because we found each other. And we are to make pressure to say, hey, this is the space in which we live. This could be our second home. We spend a lot of time here. We come here, we change our clothes, we take shits, we eat. We need to clean this. We need to make it a proper space. So my point overall would be that a new speech is coming up. A new way of seeing things is coming up. And I'm not saying that the old way or the other way that is about being fast and being smart, and I'm not saying that this is the case with the men that are here, but this is I think this is the culture we all met 20 years ago. That culture needs to embrace these new things: body care, mental care, spaces care, colleagues care, and everybody's care, you know? Like, we need to look at these two, because that's important. That's gonna make our everyday job, and most important, our everyday life, a better life and a better place to work. And we are going to be able to build up organizations based on love and care. And that is gonna give us, I mean, it's not only about riding a bike, it's also how you ride the fucking bike. And it's not the same to ride the bike pushed by stress rather than pushed by love. So I would say we need to listen to these new identities with new necessities, new, I mean old, but new in the scenario that are coming up, because we can all learn from each other. We can learn how to be faster, but others can learn how to be more kind or careful about the ones that they have around. So yeah, this is everything I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Sandra and Charlie say hi.
Hey! I told them I was very stressed and nervous.
Okay, so I don't know, like, does somebody wants to comment something or say something or share something that they two were talking about?
Just wrong. Thank you. You too.
Thank you for the inspiring presentation. What are the future goals for Cleta? Can you tell us a bit more about how in short term how you organize yourselves? And I think it's a very stable crew, right? Like you're a relatively small group, but are you like what's your current situation? Like, is it financially stable right now? Are you struggling, or how does it look? And what's the Madrid context?
Financially, we are stable. So, but we haven't been always like this, and that was like a huge discussion among us. I'm happy you asked this question, as they say in the proper speeches. Thank you for this question. Your question is very important. No, but it's true. I mean, we were working for DHL, and we made a lot of money with DHL, but at some point, DHL wanted to cut the prices. And we could have continued working with them, because by that time, DHL was like 60% of our billing. Like, I mean, losing DHL was a big thing. And we sat down, and we said, okay, working for this money is going to be fucking stressful, because we know we are not going to make it. We know we will have to do a lot of extra hours, not non-paid extra hours, to make our salaries. And we are going to struggle. And that means we are not going to have time to look for other clients that are willing to pay the money we ask them for and that are respecting our jobs. So this is what I said a bit when I talk about clients' care. Like, we had a huge discussion about what do we want. And for this, I mean, I'm lucky because the people I work with, they are also my friends and they are also my family. But still, I mean, you can have a friend, but something is to have a friend and the other one is to build up your life with that friend. So before that, we had a lot of conversations about what do we want from Cleta and how do we feel about Cleta. So that helped us to learn a lot about each other and about ourselves. That's very important. I can say that working in Cleta, I have learned a lot about my colleagues, but mostly I have learned about myself. And I have learned about my own limits. I have learned how to step back. I mean, Sia said I'm very strong, and this has two phases. I'm also very impulsive. So for me, sometimes it's very difficult to get released, you know, to let it go. And I have had to learn to trust my colleagues, to say, okay, I mean, they were having a point of view, I was having a different point of view, and I had to learn to say, okay, I trust you, and I fully trust you. If this doesn't work, I'm not gonna come back with, I told you, and all this, you know, like full trust. Like, okay, we go with your idea till the end. So DHL was a bit the case. Like, I was not very sure, and Luis, Pamela, and Pete, and the people who was there by that time was super sure. Like, yeah, we are doing this. And actually, we were more people than the ones we are now, and some of them were ready to step off because they have other plans for their lives. So we had these very nice conversations, like, yeah, I can step off. I want to try this other job, so you can continue without DHL. So we decided to do it, and we had a couple of years that had been like pretty rough, financially talking. we had saved a lot of money from working from DHL, so we still got our salaries and everything was fine, but you know, the future was not that clear. But I think because we had managed to have kind of a strong relation, also based on conflicts. We had had a lot of conflicts, you know, I mean, and a lot of serious conversations, not easy conversations. But we were able to find the strength to get out there, look for new clients, and also look for the clients we knew we needed. Like, we knew we want to work for this type of people. We don't want to work for anyone that is coming like, hey, I have all these packages, I'm gonna give you 500 packages every day, but you need to charge only €1 per package, you know, like this kind of crap. So we have said no to many things that apparently they were like super good businesses, but because we didn't feel it. And to have this feeling with the client, you need to have the feeling among the people that is working with you. So right now, nowadays, we are financially okay, like we have come over the bump, and we have a stable income. We pay our salaries, we pay our holidays, everything is fine. And I think above all, we don't have meetings anymore. We go for lunch, you know? Like, we just have lunch together, and we sat down and we mixed the talks about our own lives with the talks about the job, because we have come to actually put everything together. I was talking to Rafael before that when we were more people, we couldn't do this. But now we are 4 people, and honestly, I'm happy because I feel I'm working with my family. So, I mean, in the morning when I get to the office, I look at them and I know more or less how is the day, you know, and they can also know how is my day. So that is like an added value to everyday work. And yeah, I think I'm happy for that. And I think this has been a goal achieved by everybody in there. Everybody has learned, everybody has grown together. With conflicts, with a lot of conflicts, but willing to grow together. Another question? Yeah.
I have another testimony. I'm part of a cooperative that was created by women, and so I did not at all experience what you described. And I realized that my colleague Nadine, that some of you know maybe, Nadine is a co-founder, and I realized she was a step above me about this kindness and being aware of how the people feel. And my decision is to thank her as soon as I come home.
You should. Yeah.
You've talked a lot about representation and visualizing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think that you get more non-cis male applying to your company? Do you, compared to other companies from your town?
Yeah, I mean, we are only 2 non-cis male couriers in Madrid, and both of us, we are in Cleta. Okay. So, yeah. Something else? You already bored? I'm sorry, it's 2 hours and a half more.
Okay, so if nobody wants to share anything else, maybe we can change to the next person.
Yep. Thank you very much. Hey, and I wanted to say a last thing. I'm not a part of the CoopCycle Federation, and yeah, I forgot this. I think it's very powerful and very nice and very strong what you are doing here these days, listening to non-male couriers and putting these speeches on the top of the table. You should feel proud of yourselves, and you should feel happy for what you are doing. This is building community, and this is going further. So clap to yourselves too. ¿Qué hago con esto?
Okay, this is recording. Okay, so we thought that maybe the next one can be Natasha if she feels like it. Okay, so she's going to talk about the research that she made about bike workshops from a gender perspective.
Yeah. And I let you deal with the slides.
Ah, okay.
There's rules, but
Yeah, right. Owen? Owen? Hello. What do we do with this light thing? Because she needs.
The page.
You change the
Yeah.
page. Okay. But maybe can like. But how do you know when to take the?
Because I'm listening to the thing.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so he's going to change. Do you want to keep this because you?
yes.
No, you don't have to put it like near to your mouth. It's just like.
Like
Do you
this.
want to yeah. Do you want to have this or no?
No, I can handle it also, I
Yeah, but
think.
you don't have to put it like very near.
Okay, like
this.
this?
Is okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
like here it works.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Ok, cool. J'appuie juste sur la barre de recherche.
en bas.
Là.
Ouais, on va rappeler.
Ok, ça marche. Ouais.
C'est la même page après.
Ça marche, merci. Okay, so same. I'm gonna do it in English, like since it's better for everyone, but it's also not my language, so sorry. Better like this? Like this? Like this? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and say it like if it's not loud enough. I always speak really like this. Yeah, so as I said, I'm gonna also do it in English. It's not my main language, so if it's unclear, don't hesitate to like just ask questions. What I wanted to do is like a bit also in reaction to what has just been said, to maybe give another example of collective work from a gender perspective, which is not about psychologistic or queer work, but about bicycle workshops. So I guess everyone here knows what bicycle workshops are. If not, okay, I'm just gonna explain really quickly. The idea is that like those are workshops where you go and fix your bike on your own. Bike kitchen, yeah, that's how we also say it in English. So like the idea is that you do it yourself. You're not gonna pay for someone to do it. You do it yourself, and you also learn a bit about like the mechanic this way. So in Berlin there are several, like really a lot. And before I came to Berlin, I was living in France, Lyon, where I was working in a bike kitchen. And yeah, like I was the only not cis male person here. And yeah, I was having really lots of fun, really good time. They were my friends, my family also, as you said. But felt sometimes really strange because I was the only girl and I was really every time sitting at the like entrance of the bike kitchen and just welcoming the people, like doing the reception kind of. And I felt weird about this because I was like, okay, I can also do mechanic. I don't have to do the reception, or I don't have to be the only person who cleans or who like cleans the toilet, the kitchen, or even just the workshop itself. And yeah, like when I arrived in Berlin, I was like, okay, this can be really interesting to just like talk with Flinta people. So Flinta, it's like a political group, I would say, for women, lesbian, intersexual, non-binary, trans, and asexual persons in German. And yeah, the idea was to have their point of view about how, like, yeah, about their experiences in the bike kitchens. At the beginning, I arrived in those workshops, and I asked, yeah, how is it going here with like the gender perspective? Is it a problem? Like, is it a topic for you? And the first people said, no, it's not a topic here. Like, those places are safe places. Everyone is welcome. It's even written everywhere. Like, everyone is welcome. It's for everyone. Everyone should learn how to fix a bike.
I was like, okay, maybe I was wrong. And then I asked the question to Flinta persons. And of course, they said yes, it's a topic. And I found it really interesting because, like, the fact that some people, so most of them cis males persons, saying that it wasn't a problem here. I think they said it because, like, the problem is implicit. In those places, bike kitchens, no one's gonna tell you that you shall not be here as a woman or as a Flinta person. No one's gonna tell you, yeah, no, you can't do anything with that bike because you're a woman or a trans person or something else than a cis male person. And so that was all the problem. Like, implicit rules, like implicit normative rules that makes you feel not good enough, guilty, afraid, lack of motivations, lack of knowledge, all those things. So yeah, like after that, I had like lots of interviews with Flinta persons working in bike kitchens, and we figured out that this problem in those places were linked to like several problems around, like, first of all, the like bike itself, like, I mean, the object, the bike, which is also like like from a gender perspective, it's not like the bike has a like gender specific meaning. Like, we know that for long times women were not allowed to ride a bike. Like, people even said that it was dangerous for them. So yeah, first of all, the bike is mostly like male dominated tools of, yeah. And so this, then of course the mechanical aspect, which is also a male dominated topic. And then at the end, like all the collective work aspect, like the questions about taking decisions, all the also personal engagement with the place, with the people. And yes, so we figured out with those persons that there were like different layers of problems, and I think that we could do we could drive a parallel with the cooperative work in Koya logistic. And yeah, so that's why I thought that this could be interesting. And so after all those interviews, like, the idea was to ask those people how they feel and why they feel like this, but also if they have like maybe solutions or things like this to make things work better. And actually it's really fun because what came out like the more often was this idea of care. So it's really nice that you talk about this actually. And I went to like a Flinta bike kitchen, so Flinta only. And it's the first thing that they say about this place is that the idea is to have people having fun, but also taking care of each other while repairing, like fixing bikes. And that the most important is not about the mechanic. I mean, of course it's the mechanic, but mechanic is more like the yeah, like the mean to build a common place or like a shared space with other people. And this idea of care is related to different big questions. So it's first of all, it's really based with like communications. It's like how you talk with people, how you react to what they said, to what they need, how you listen to them also. So it has a lot to do with language also. And yeah, like this places that we're putting a lot of effort into this. Also meaning like speaking several languages, not only German and not only English, but also like Italian, French, Turkish, because I mean, if you want to take care of someone, or if you want the person to take care of you, you have to understand each other. And these are actually like, it sounds really basic, but I realized also that sometimes people just don't do that. They don't translate. They don't, but now we can do it all the time with the phone. Like you just ask Google Translate or DeepL or whatever. It's really simple, but since, I mean, even, I don't know, people don't do it. And I think that, yeah, like those places are really good examples. I have pictures actually. Yeah, like this was in the this Flinta workshop, and even like the place itself, like the bike kitchen, all the aesthetic and the signs, in the or like stickers, whatever, in the in the um, in the place were related with like Flinta persons being strong and being able to do things. And I think that also the aesthetic of the place can influence a lot how you feel and what you can do, because that's what I was saying about the implicit rules. If you come to a place and you're like, okay, I have nothing here that says me that I'm like in the right place at the right time, then you just don't feel safe, basically. Like if you don't have anything to identify with in a place, then you don't feel safe. So yeah, you can do it with like signs or drawings on the wall. Like here we have this girl having tools in her hand. But you can also do it with like a place that is friendly for everyone, meaning like clean or that has everything that everyone needs. So for example, periods, protections, things like that. And yeah, I mean it's yeah, it's big questions and yeah, sorry, it's everything in French. No, but like what I wanted to say is that the yeah, what came out of this is that it's really complex because all those rules are implicit. So it means that first what we have to do is to like go like over the implicit problem, meaning just talking about this, which is the first effort, like putting words on it, because you cannot solve a problem if if you're not talking about it, basically. So that's the first thing. You talk about this, and after you talk about this, basically you just started to build a kind of trust system, like a real relation with people that you talk about this, and because you're sharing experiences. And when you share experience with someone, you consider the person as your, like equal with you, because you think, okay, this person is able to listen to me, and I'm able to listen to the person. So it means that we, like, there's no Yahashi or whatever. And yeah, like you share the experience, and after that, you can be like, okay, what could we do now? And I think that those 3 steps are the most important. It's the case in those bike kitchen, and I think it also should be the case in cooperative work in general, because I think we have the same problems with like the problem of integration, the problem of self, like trust yourself, taking giving ideas, or also sometimes taking the lead, which means that you assume that you can influence a space and influence a group, and that the group has also an influence on you. Yeah, which might be hard for some people. Yeah, I think it's a good complement to what you said before. Don't have that much more to say. Like, I mean, I spent a year working on this, so now I have like, I'm not gonna drop everything that I that I wrote, but yeah, if you have questions, I'm happy to talk about this.
How do you deal with the times in the daily work to create those spaces to talk, to share, to communicate what do you have to improve with each other, or like a time to take care of everyone in the cooperative?
Yeah, that was also a main question. Like, how do you manage to take the time to have this special moment where you can take care of yourself and of the others? The problem is that it's some extra time. I mean, basically you have like 2 solutions, you know, like you make it extra, meaning you spend more time at work, or you work less and you include this into your working time. And I think the second solution, meaning seeing the like those moments of care as included in the working time, is the best one, because it has to be done actually, and it's part of like building a working group and also like collective work. So I think it has to be part of the working hours. And most of the bike kitchens in Berlin I talked with were doing this. Yeah, like more or less having special time for this. And also like some of them were, if they felt the need to have a moment to talk about something with their colleagues or co-workers, then they just say it and be like, yeah, I think we need to have 10 minutes, an hour, lunch, whatever, to talk about something. But it's true that the time for this is problem, and I think if we think that it's a problem, it means that maybe we need to reschedule the way we work, like to rethink all the time that we, like how we organize ourselves from a timing perspective. So how can we include care moments in the working time?
Okay, in my experience, bike kitchens are voluntary. We all are volunteers, in Milan at least, and in Madrid it was like that. So in that moment you don't have to reschedule nothing, because it's always out of work time. But in the job part, this care moment in my experience, and even if in the bike kitchen time, um, if they are little moments, but like every week or every meeting or every assembly, it's better than once a month. Because once a month, then you have a lot of things to say. Everyone has a lot of things to say, then you forgot things, and then you just go on. Um, so, well, I don't know. In my experience, the best thing is a little moment every week, and yeah. But no, the question was: do you are like volunteers in bike kitchens in Berlin, or you are employed?
No, I was in Lyon in France,
Leon.
but no, I'm not. Like I don't have the time because I have another job. Yeah, I said no, not in Berlin because I don't have the job. The job, the time. um, but I mean, I volunteer sometimes. When I can, like maybe once every 2 week. But yeah, like I think what you said, it's that it means that we have to think this time as part of like the everyday life at
Yeah.
work or at like in the bike kitchen.
Okay.
Where do I talk? Like this? Okay, I just wanted to add a comment to the first question about taking out time to do this work. And I think like that's a question that I work in Byexpressen, and I'm going to talk about it later, so stick around for my presentation, but that's not what I wanted to say. I just wanted to, like, a question that comes up is like, how do we take out the time? But I think it's about actually what work is it that we spend time doing, and what work do we value as work time. So taking time out to do care actually takes that work away from individuals in a collective, right, that do that work on their own. So it's like if you are a marginalized person, that care time you usually have to do when you come home from work, right? And you do it on your own, and that's pretty difficult. So I think seeing it as like almost a necessary part of the job makes us value time at work differently, and makes us view work in a different way, because work isn't just biking, right? It's like it's also doing these things that make us come back to work because we like being there. So I think that's an interesting thing to like start thinking about time. Yeah.
So I just have one question. I just have one question. You said you did a set of interviews with both male and non-male people at the bike kitchens, and for the males, they were saying we have no problems here, and then everyone else, the others, were saying yes, we do. I was wondering how, like, the males reacted when they learned this. Did it lead to positive changes? Did they have problems to accept this? What happened, and was there any like conflict that came out of this?
Yeah, really good question. Actually, they were really like they reacted, I would say, in a really clever way, meaning that like what we did is that I talked with male, like cis male persons, and then Flinta persons, and if they were working together in the same bike kitchen, I asked them, yeah, do you want to do like a third interview where we talk all together about this? It's not about you having a fight. It's more like having a discussion, and I'm here just as the third person, so I'm just gonna listen to it. I'm not gonna say anything. Maybe some questions sometimes, but that's it. And what came out of this is that they know that they have, like in German we say that they have like yeah,
blind spots.
yeah, a blind spot, exactly. Meaning that the way they see things is influenced by their conditions, and they know it. They know it, but still, they said that it's really difficult in the daily life to always do the effort to like consider people from a gender perspective, because we all know, I mean, what they said when they said it's not a topic here isn't mean. It's not, like they did not say it in a like sexist or homophobic or transphobic way. What they said is that for me, gender should not be a problem. So I'm not taking this, like it's not an information for me, because it's not a problem. But what they know also, and what they maybe realized after this job we did together, and also, like, I mean, they already did the job with their colleagues. I'm not the person who, it was nothing new for them, of course. Is that for them it's not an information because they don't suffer from it. I mean, they do, because we all do, but from like in a different way. So yeah, what they said is that they had this blind, I forgot the name. Yeah, blind spot. Thank you. And yeah, because they have a really different experience speaking about gender perspective, but they know it. So it was really interesting to see them react this way, actually. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nat. One question for how could it look concretely to create the space in a working day, in a working week, in mostly a cooperative structure, to make sure that there is time and space for paid care work, no matter who exactly it does it, but like that very much in general, it's like planned into the shift planning. The challenge I see is different shifts, different people working on different days, so there needs to be some sort of a connection who to talk to, so some sort of a, even some sort of a little working group, department or whatever, with someone who is taking in requests for these kind of tasks.
Yeah, I think this is the main problem, because we all know that we can be really busy and don't have the time for this. I would say it depends on the people, the place, how many people there is like in the team, and how you work. But yeah, I think that like there are several solutions. First, you can say, okay, once a week we all have to take 2 hours and we just sit together and we speak. So a kind of maybe plenary, but not not for work, like really like a care plenary. Or you can have also, yeah, someone that says, okay, or some people that, yeah, build a working group about integration and care or safe. I don't know how to call it, but I think this is a solution.
Maya? Okay, regarding like answering a bit to your question, what we do in Cleta is we have the working chat in which we talk about work, and then we have like actually we call it Cleta meeting. I don't know why, but it's like it has become the care chat. So if anyone needs to talk about something, that's the place to say, hey, I think we should gather because I would like to go deeper in this, or because I have a doubt about this, or because I'm not feeling good about this. And then in that group, we consider if we have time to actually meet physically in the same room. And if we don't, we set at a phone call or a Zoom call or whatever. Like in everyday life, it's very difficult to actually meet together in the same place, and we are not that much people actually. But I think new technologies are good for this. So we have a specific chat for that. And apart from that, we have like different ways of attending everything. Or we also know that you always will have to give a bit of your free time for this. I mean, society, at the end of the day, society is based on production. So to survive here, we all need to be productive. So if you need to, we call it, we have a difference between productive work and reproductive work. Reproductive work will be the caring work. And for that, we are aware that sometimes maybe you are not working that day or in that shift, but you have to connect to a call, or you have to pass by the office for an hour, talk about something, or you have to go there to get lunch with your colleagues that day instead of doing it in your place, because someone needs to talk about something. So this is the way we do it. I mean, it still needs you to put the cooperative above you sometimes, and to say, okay, today I have to organize myself, so I am going to Achuri, which is the bar we always go for lunch, to talk about whatever thing that is not my thing, but someone needs to talk about.
Yeah, I just wanted to react to this. What also came out from this work that I did with those people is that this care work is also mostly done by Flinta persons. Like there is by Flinta persons, like non-cis male persons. Yeah, like there is a it's the same like people that actually used to do the cleaning, and now those people just take care of the other persons, and it's something that it comes out really frequently. And I think that's also something that we have to think about, because you can say, oh, but no, but in this place we used to talk together and have some time for to express yourself. But if it's the like two same people that do it all the time, it's like a working charge extra for them, and also mental charge, because it's like it needs some like emotional energy and all. But yeah.
Maybe we have to take turns, because
Yeah.
you take
I'll try and be quick. I was just really inspired by your presentation, and I was told an anecdote from a bike kitchen in Helsinki that I thought was really inspiring and interesting, and an example of putting some like concepts into practice. So this bike kitchen in Helsinki, they had a same story of Flinta people, women, trans, non-binary people who are alienated by the environment, all the toxic masculinity that was on display in terms of like top tier mansplaining, which is like a feature of these kinds of environments. So there was the first initiative was to make a separatist space, and this illustrates like the crucial need for separatist spaces where women, trans, non-binary people can explore a kind of space that they are usually excluded from, without the looming cis male mansplaining going on. And then the second thing, which I thought was really cool, was they conceptualized the bike kitchen. They were like, these are the physical bike tools that we have. These are the tools on the wall. You know, this space is like lined with wrenches and etc. And then they introduced a new toolbox, which was the not the physical tools, but the psychological tools, or the care tools, or the well-being tools. And they are like exercise, empathy, listen, really basic kind of physical list, which was a kind of a reminder of like, you need to utilize not just physical tools when you're fixing bikes, but you also need to, in order to create an inclusive environment, you need to exercise tools of care, of mutual respect, of questioning patriarchal behaviors, etc. And I thought that was a really cool way of operationalizing or putting into practice these goals.
Just before continuing, we are running out of time, so I don't know if we are comfortable like sharing, keep talking about this, it's not a problem, but just to have this in mind. So I don't know how you want to do it. Like maybe we will like 2 more people that wanted to say something.
Yeah.
And then we maybe can go to Clara's speech, or I don't know.
Oh, thank you. So regarding what Jerome was saying, was asking actually, so how maybe work environment can organize itself in order to have a care talking moment. I don't think it's up to us. I mean, it's really about every reality, and it's about how much do you need or do you care about to have it. I wouldn't take this task, or it's not my task. I don't know. Organize it yourself and try to find out a way, if you feel like to have it. I'm pretty sure after my experience in bike kitchen and in job environment they didn't have, I just quit. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna participate. In the last bike kitchen in Milan, I quit last week because I was the only one always asking for this moment, but then I was the last one too. So I arrived there and I said, okay, maybe we need to talk about some stuff in some point after conflicts and blah, blah, blah. And nobody wants to do that. The bike kitchen, it's actually lead by a woman, but all the other people are men. This really, really blind spot on gender perspective. So I think she got used to that, to be like them, and so this is my question: how many places, spaces, work or non-work spaces have you maybe been in where if there is a woman or a non-binary people, a flinta person, this person feel it has to be like the other, and or it has to be like strong like the other, or know as much as about bicycle mechanic as the others to feel included in the group. So how much effort is made by this person and how much effort is made by the group? Because in my experience, I feel like I have to demonstrate all the time. I am good mechanic, I am good messenger, I am I am a good everything, but I don't feel any effort from the other side. Yeah.
Yeah, like basically all the places I went to, it was the same. Like Flinta persons had this feeling that they had to all the time demonstrate, prove that they were good at what they were doing, except one bike kitchen which was actually Flinta bike kitchen. So yeah. And yes, this is something that is really difficult because it means that you as Flinta person has to, like, you have to do an extra effort in this place, which takes you more energy, but like more daily energy. So if you go to work, you need energy. But if you go to work as a Flinta person, you need double energy, which is actually like a problem.
Intersectionality. Huh.
Yes.
So maybe can we leave close this so we
Sorry.
I just have one point because there's some questions about it. There's photos that are being taken by a lot of people and that want to put it on the networks. Is anybody not comfortable with this? Normally we made a point in the program that photos will be taken. If it's like portrait of one person, you should ask this person is right? No? If he agree or not. But do somebody don't feel comfortable with being on a general photo or in any photo from the event? Okay, or if you have at one moment one feeling you don't want to be on a photo, just say it directly to the person that took the photo if possible. Thank you. And yeah, Lois? But,
Okay, so now it's Louise' time, action, speech. She's going to talk about saddles. This is working?
yeah.
Ah, okay.
Sorry.
Okay, wait a second. Yeah, this thing is not very. Like, this is not very
Yeah, but
stable.
I
I don't
think
know.
it's broken.
It's
Yeah,
going to fall anyway.
Yeah, it's
so.
broken.
Okay.
I have to take it?
Okay, so I can do it for you.
I'm gonna take it.
Ah, but
Put it
this.
somewhere,
Yeah,
like
put
on
it
the book.
here.
I continue until my presentation? Nah.
Yeah, but.
Okay, hello everybody. So I'm Loïse, I'm from France. I'm a writer sorry, my English is gonna be, but it's gonna be there. I'm a writer for 8 years now. I did 6 years of food tech the night to pay my school. So it was 30 hours a week, approximately. After I had a job, but I continued because I liked it, like a side hustle, and I missed it. So I came back with Now Food and LCN for 20 hours a week. And I'm gonna speak to you about take care of your body, like the two women before me told you, and to take care of your ass when you ride. Because when you're a rider, it's like a lot of time on the saddle, and as a lot of people say before, bicycle is a man industry historically, and women are not really, they don't have a bike made for them. But before that, I forgot, I have two questions to make interaction between you and me. And it's not, so, who has had a hurt when you go on a bicycle? Who has pain when they ride a bike on the ass? Like normally a lot of people. And that's because, thank you. And the other thing is how many of you who have pain have the same saddle on the bike that when you buy the bike? That you never change the saddle, you buy a bike and you keep the same saddle. Normally, a lot of people. Okay. So, why does it hurt? It's because you have bones in your body and the saddle is hard, and between you have soft tissues, And when you have hard, hard, and soft, so it hurts because it's gonna be squished between the two hard things. But we can have a lot of tips to make it less painful. Normally, under 8 hours, you shouldn't feel any pain. Except if you're not a rider. If you ride once every month, it's gonna hurt. You have to get a bit used to it. But when you're a rider, if you ride under 8 hours, you shouldn't feel any pain at all. Even for professional, saddles are not made to keep your body healthy. Because this study, it's cropped, but I put every time the sources on the right. It's only on male professional because we have no study on women. I tried to find, maybe I didn't find. If you find something, send it to me. But 50 to 90% have genital pain, and 30 to 25 have erectile dysfunction. So it's in comfort and in sexual life. Even male have problems. So imagine females. Why it is a gender issue is because we have difference in bones because women give birth. So we have a large thing like this. It's ischion, the name of this, in French, sorry, ischion, this bone. And in men, it's really narrow because nothing gonna go through here. But between women, it's really far apart because a baby, maybe if you want babies, it can go down here. And the objective of the saddle is to put these bones here and here. For women, it's between 12 to 16 inches minimum. Here, it's like 4. So our bones are here. So we have not bones that keep our body on the bike, it's only soft tissue. So that's why it's hurting us.
But, sorry,
yeah.
It happens, then you're touching with something else.
Yeah, soft tissue. And that hurts. Soft tissues. It's like pussy. So, before that, to choose your saddle, you need yourself or a friend, if you're really comfortable with your friend, to find your bones and to measure your bones. Because everybody have different, male as female, everybody need to know this thing. Mine is 15. I know it, and when I go in a bike shop, I say I have ischion 15, so they give me saddle for ischion 15. And it's amazing to ride on this kind of saddle for me. And it's really hard because we have a lot of different saddles in the market. And nobody never designed this to be comfortable because men, as the two speakers spoke before, want to go fast. And if you're comfortable, you're not going fast because you're not in a sports position. So not a deep one, you are on a normal position as a rider, but it's not painful enough to go down. It's in their way, if you are not comfortable, you're gonna go in front of the bike, so you're gonna push harder and you're gonna go faster. So, what I say is just what I know, so maybe I'm wrong, but you have the sports racing position, is when your hands are under your saddle. You are really in front of it. This one is a ride for the race. Because it's this. It's putting your body in here on the saddle. When you are in a urban, like when you go for a ride under 20 minutes, it's a straight position. You're like in a Harley Davidson, and your body is really on the saddle, not in the hand. And it's this one, like a couch. And sometimes you have saddles with gel padding. It's like really squishy one. And in a gender way, they say, oh, it's so cool for women because they are comfortable on it. It's bullshit. Nobody is comfortable on it after. It's really good for urban one when you have under 20 minutes because it's going to be, when you have a hole in the road, it's going to, like suspensions. But after, like when you ride 8 hours, after 20 minutes, it's going to move under your body and going to create friction and going to irritate your skin and can create a lot of problem like furuncle. It's a big pimple, really hurtful on this area. And it can create abrasion, it can create a lot of stuff. So, for long ride, no padding is way better. You have flat and curved. Some people are gonna say one is more important than other. For my reading, it's not true. It's your preference. Because some people like this one when you have a curve because your body is stuck in it. But for example, I like to go sometime really Harley Davidson way when I ride. And sometimes I see a really big road and I think, oh, I'm gonna enjoy it. So I go in the sporting way. So I like to go back and forth. So this one, not good for me. I prefer the flat one. I can change my position easier on the ride. And you have this split paddle. For women as male, it's always, almost always good because it's gonna decrease the perineum pressure. Because the real problem with the pain you feel is not about soft tissue being squeezed, it's because your muscle is really squeeze, and again, and again, and again. Women can feel almost nothing after 8 hours of ride if you don't have something like that. Not all women, but a lot of women. And men can piss blood, for example. Some people already experience this, and they don't take care of their body too. So a lot of time, this thing is really cool because your soft tissue go in the hole. So you're not putting pressure on the soft tissue a little bit, but it's more on your bones and less on your soft tissues. But be careful because some people can feel numbness in this area. And Detroit and 2004 said it's not good for this person because it's gonna accentuate the sensation. The no sensation, the numbness. So as you begin to see, there are no universal rules about saddles. You know best. You have to test the saddle and know your preference in the way you ride. Because if you ride short, if you ride long, if you move, if you don't move, and the clothes you're wearing, if someone told you this saddle is amazing, yeah, for you, not for everybody. I can give you some brands and ranges. I don't take the research in the world, so I just know in France. It's the beginning, it's 100 euros, but when you ride 8 hours a day, it's not that small an investment to your health, but it depends of your possibility. So maybe the cooperative can help on that, but sadly, we had one subvention that asked for a female product, and they say, oh, the saddle you sent is not for female, because there was no pink or no female saddle on the title. But as you saw, every saddle can be for men or women. It depends on your body. It's just that it's going to be large. But nobody knows about that. So in the subvention, they don't want to give money for the woman on the cooperative because we didn't give reference with women marketing in it. So this is some brand that are really amazing, and my favorite one is SMP. It's amazing because it's the only one I know of that are made with doctors specialized in this area, like men and females. In France, it's urologue. I don't know in English. The doctor that take care of your pissing system. And And this brand is really amazing. Since I drive with this one, I never feel any pain if I wear clothes of cycling. So you have to consider width, padding, length, because if it's too long and you move, you're gonna squish your genitals in it. The discharge is, maybe it's not the name, but no, the discharge is this. The hole in it. And the sport, because some saddle have something like this. At the end, we're gonna go outside. I can show for people who want to speak with all the saddle outside because I couldn't fit everything in 30 minutes. But beware of gender marketing. It's very widespread and it's really bullshit. We don't need a pink saddle on our PC to feel included. It's not pink, I don't care. It's about the white, almost always. So setting and adjustments, all saddles are different. So systematically and in Utopia way, when you change saddle, you need to adjust your entire back to your height. And it's strongly recommended to do a postural a bike fitting. And I have all the information I told you is on a thesis. It's in French, but in DeepL you can translate it. It's about the optimization of the position on cycling and the approach of individual with different body, a lot of different body. And sometimes it can be a little bit expensive. The bike fitting, it's almost the same price in France as the saddle I show you. But when you do it, you can do it only once and have all the information you need to after put your bike in the way you should put it. Because even if you have a little bit, something a little bit too big, you can hurt your lower back, everything is linked. So for example, for 8 years, I drove a bicycle M, medium, and when I did this, I knew I was an XS. So I was down 3 sizes of bike, and now I don't feel any pain. I have to a little bit to wait because I have to to make my muscles stronger sometimes. But it's like 3 sizes behind what I used for 8 years of riding. So it's a lot. It's like really a lot. And the best way to ride as a rider for 8 hours a day is to have a semi-position of racing. Because if you are on a big saddle like a Harley Davidson one, you're gonna be really straight and you can hurt your back with all this vibration on the road. And if you are on not a really deep one, but a normal one, you have your weight here and also here. So you can protect your back and your ass, but you need to make stronger your abs. Because if you only maintain this position with your hands, you can have the canal carpien here, and it can come really, really quickly, and numbness in your hands. Maybe some people had this. So if you are like this, you have to make your back rounder and squeeze your ab all the way. And like that, normally you can almost leave your hand and sitting like this. But the hand have to help too. Just for the saddle adjustments, you have 3 things to check. The height, so you have to know the thing between here and the soil. The tilt, if it's gonna be really straight or a little bit in the. Thank you. I'm beginning to be tired. And the pullback, you can make it go like this, because the more important thing is to know with the direction how far away you should be, because your elbow have to go in the way of the guidon, the thing you use for the direction. And these 3 things are direct impact in the perineal, lumbar, and cervical one. But it's just on the saddle. So on the bike, you have multiple other things to check. And when it's in your settings, it's like flying on the road. It's amazing. In 8 years, I did it like 2 months ago. I should have done before. And don't underestimate the importance of dressing appropriately. I really recommend to wear cycling shorts with the pads and nothing under. Because if you have something under, it's not made to do the friction, because you do this all the day. It's gonna create pressure points, and it can be really hurtful. And the cycling shorts, since I use this, it's like really amazing. If you're not comfortable with the fitting of this, because it's really narrow your body, you can put something under, no, like a big short on the top, sorry, thank you, above, because it's not gonna create friction on your skin. What it is important is what touches your skin. But really, the correct size and no underwear is not to be sport minded and everything. It's really for your health and to protect yourself. But we are women and we have losses every day because it's cleaning itself like all days, and we have periods. Some brands like Wilma, Reigns and everything do cycle thin. With pads, we can change, but for me it's really expensive and not that worth. I just change my shorts 3 times a day when I have to have a lot of cycle shorts, but in Vinted or everything you can have it for €3, so it can be not that expensive to have a lot in your house, and it's working for me. But I don't have something really, I don't know for the person with really heavy flow. Maybe you have to change like every 2 hours. So we have to ask to our dispatch to not send us to a really big rip to change it during our periods. And for the outdoors, we don't have something for now. So if you have an idea, I take it. For when you have a really heavy flow, sometimes in the summer it can smell. And some people are not okay with that. The coworkers know this, and I don't have a solution for this for now, because the cycle pads are not made to keep the blood of the menstruation. So it can leak, or it can really spoil. I don't know how to explain this, but it can be really easily known by everyone around you that you are on your period. And some person don't like it that it's really intimate, so you don't really want sometimes that the other know that you are in your menstruation. And the pads that Wilma and Drainage sell do this, that they stop the smell because it's like bamboo based or something like that, and gonna keep the scent. But the cycling one are almost all synthetic, so it's gonna be really smelly really quickly. And for me, I wash them every night when I go home when I have my periods. Like no waiting, and cleaning them right away. But we don't have a solution really except the expensive one.
What about cups?
I don't do that. That's why I didn't think about this. Cups work. Yeah, thank you. It's really great. Thank you. Painful. I don't know. It depends for everyone, and sometimes on the bike it can be problematic because you can feel it. So for some people, for me, example, I can't use it.
Not feel it.
Yeah, it's a solution for some people.
The advantage is wherever you are, you just leave the bike. If you have to be covered.
Yeah.
You take it away, you rub it, and
Yeah.
you put it back.
Thank you. It's a solution. So everybody heard it? Yeah, the one with no tips. Just a round one with no tips. That the one you saw? Yeah, the ovals. And the thing why I don't use cup is because, see, I just had a saddle and I have something on my hands and I don't want to put and it's really disgusting. So for now, I don't have it. But I think for people with low flow and they are comfortable with cups, it can be a solution. So thank you, because I didn't think at all about this. So For the setting and adjustments, again, you know best because it's your body, and as you saw, everybody is different. So even if you're male or female or whatever, every female have their own setting, every male have their own setting, everybody have their own setting, everybody. And you have to be patient, as I say, because if you ride really little time, you're gonna always have pain because you have a little bit, you get to have to be a little bit, you get used to it. Used. You have to feel used to it. It's like when you begin a new sport. When you do climbing at the beginning, your finger hurts a little bit. But it has to be just a little bit. If it's more than 1 month, it's not normal. Go see your mechanic and tell him, I feel pain for 1 month. I have something bad in my setting, in my saddle, or in something else. And all this information are from the thesis and some of my friends on the cooperative. And for example, Anaïs is a 2-year-old rider, and she's still looking for a saddle. Kilian or Luca is a bike career, and the love of bike every day is minimum 100 kilometers per day. And for him too, there are no such thing as the ideal saddle, but he fell in love with one. But it's his love, so you have to find your love. And Ronan, he visited more than 50 countries in bike and 10 ultra distance. It's like in 7 days you just ride. And for him too, he has no favorite model, but criteria depending of his activity. For example, a short and hollow for when he's on the road or with the extension bar to go very fast. A narrow shape and hard for road rules, and a soft one for gravel mountain because you're always taking shocks when you ride. Thank you a lot, and if you want, for some people, we can go outside and speak about the other one, because for example, we have a 3D printed one that they are really amazing but really expensive, but they are really in the middle for when you don't want paddings, but it's too hard, it's gonna take a little bit of the movement, but with no friction. It's amazing, but it's a bit expensive. I have a question maybe first, yeah.
I have a question. Yes, I have a question. In our co-op, we sometimes, or quite often, hire female riders that are maybe completely inexperienced on a bike.
Yeah.
And I'm not shy. I could take this talk, but I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Would it be possible for you, or maybe every female rider in here, to just take the time on Slack?
Yeah, with pleasure.
I mean, we don't have any female riders right now because they left. They had to study.
Okay.
But just so we can point them in a direction.
With
Because
pleasure, yeah.
I don't have the knowledge that you guys have. That would be extremely helpful just to be able to say, hey, if you experience anything, write these fantastic people.
Yeah. With my pleasure, it's gonna be really easy to speak, and yeah, because sometimes you don't want to speak about this because it's a really private area, and when you do a bike fitting, it can be a little bit like that too, because they put a metal bar here and they're gonna squeeze to mimic the pressure of the saddle. And when I did it, it was a male, and he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't, I said, do as a male, like, I just a body, you're doing your job to measure me. So he said, okay, but he wanted to make sure I was okay with this, because I'm not sure that everybody's gonna feel okay with a man pushing a metal bar in your pussy to measure your interlegs. So it's gonna be my pleasure to do it, and maybe if we can have a female mechanic who can do the measurement for the person who are not comfortable with this, it can be amazing. But for now, in every mechanic in France are male. In Nantes, I didn't see any female one. So yeah, I don't know for other places, but.
Just quickly, maybe could you just very quickly elaborate a little bit on the importance of numbness, because I know a lot of examples of numbness when body parts turn without feelings.
Yeah.
How dangerous it is.
When you don't, you have like hands in your hands, like really little spiking things on your. It's almost always on your fingers, but you can feel it on your perineal area, is when a nerve is too long squeeze. So for example, on the hand, when you have the feeling, is because your hand on the bar is like this, or like this. You should be on your bike like straight, because here you have the carpanial nerve, of what I understand. It's just my reading, I'm not a doctor. But the nerve go here, and go here, and here. And for myself, for example, for now, I feel the pain here, because I'm like this, and I'm not strong enough here. So I put a lot of pressure on my elbow, and I squeeze my nerve, so I have pain in here. So I do gainage, I try to make stronger my abs. So it's the same for the perineal area, but more for male than females, because the male have everything will go under in the testicle area. So when you sat on it, that's why they have erectile problems, is because they shut the nerve off, so you don't feel anything. In the girl, you can have it if you are in a sport way, because you go in the clitoradial area. So when you put pressure on it for 8 hours, for 2 days you don't feel anything too. So it depends of your position for the girl. The difference between girls and male here are the position, because we are not in the same area sensitive. But it's almost always about nerve. It's not about muscles. Yeah, I think. Check everything I say. I can give you the thesis. I download it and I can send it to you. It's really complete. It's about all the settings on the bike for different morphology.
So for bike messenger reality, in my experience, we share bikes. so saddle and whatever. That's the problem. So probably the best thing is to have in the hub different saddles. And when you change bike, then you change saddle. Or you bring your own saddle from home.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because this is the main problem. I remember when I was working with La Pájara, I could change 3 times bike a day, maybe 2 for a job and 1 to go home with my bikes, and then maybe I want to go out and they change the bike because I have to bring stuff and blah, blah, blah. Maybe 3, 4, 5 times a day you change bikes. And that's a problem for everything, for the measure, for the high of the saddle, the high of the direction. It's
always
you change all the time. And I know that if you are young, you don't feel anything and everything is okay until some point.
Yeah.
And at this point, normally it's too late. So yeah, probably it's good maybe to have some info before. And yeah.
Yeah, that's completely true. I would like to make it happen in our company that each rider have their own saddle, or maybe 3 or 4 saddles that we are shared, but no fight for the saddle. Sometimes people fight for the saddle, but like in a friendly way. But some saddles are really better than others. And what we wanted to try to make for the next year, but we don't know if we're gonna have the time, but it's to make 2 areas or 3 areas for our bikes, with a small one, medium one, and tall one. But it's gonna be fitting perfectly, but maybe we can try it. We spoke a little bit with some co-workers about it. We'll see if we have the time, because we have to process everything and to make it happen. But it can be like a compromise to a lot of different bike, to have different area, like small, medium, and large bike. But to make the saddle really perfectly, like not in the millimeters, but it's always to put your feet on the saddles, to go down the saddle to you have your bone here. So the beginning of your leg, you can feel it is here. So the saddle needs to be 2 centimeters behind. And when you're on the saddles, your leg have to be like this. When you are down the saddles, like I'm really down on the pedals, on the pedals, your leg has, if it's like this, it's not good. If it's like this, it's not good. Like this is not good. It has to be like a little bit bent when you are down the pedal. So I'm fighting with the cable. You can do that, and for the direction. It depends for me of the saddles. Sometimes I just have this. So I know I can't go down here, but I have to be between here on my weight. So I put it in the middle. And when I'm with the big one that someone took because I stole it without asking, it's like the early way. So I put the direction really high to be really straight, because I know that the saddle is really large, so I can put my weights on it without pain in my back, but only for a ride of 20 minutes. For example, someone told me to go back and forth to a point. I know I'm gonna take 15 to go, doing manutention, and 15 to go back. I take a big saddle because I know it's not gonna hurt me. Yeah. So and one thing I didn't say, it's take really good attention to this area too, because if it's really large and you're gonna friction, when you are female, you have huge here. I don't know this, but it's bigger than male almost. And here it can touch the saddle and create friction too, and it's really painful. So I like when it's really short and really not too narrow, because you have to put your weight on it, but a little bit more narrow than men sometimes, because it can be hurtful here.
So friction is bad.
Friction is bad. And if you have a bike feeding and it's still hurting, you have some cream. No friction cream, it can help. But after 8 hours, if you don't change, even before, every 4 hours you should change your fitting, because it's gonna absorb the water, the sweats. It's gonna absorb the sweats, so it's not gonna friction, but after a time it's gonna be full, and when it's full, it's gonna begin to friction, and that hurts. So you have to, it depends on your sweatness. If you sweat a lot, change it. If you can, change it a lot. If you don't sweat that much, it's okay. And when you are on your period and everything, it's gonna go faster again, because it's gonna absorb a lot more fluids. So if some people want to speak about saddles again, we have a lot of examples outside during the break. And if no question, good break.
Dominated area. First, I'm going to talk about the barrier. Like I also, sorry, my pronoun is she or her. First, I'm going to talk about the barrier, like what do I have to face it. Then my relation with the environment. And then finally, how can I manage to find a way to find my place as a girl. So first of all, at the beginning, when I was, cool, thank you. So first of all, when I start to be a bike messenger, I have to face physical barrier. Like, first of all, I was stressed. The first night, I was not even able to sleep, because I was thinking, should I be able to cycle for 8 hours? Will I be strong enough? Will I be resilient enough? And then I realized that yes, I will be, and then I continue. But I have also to change some lifestyle, so to sleep better, like to slow down a bit with alcohol, and to be more healthy in my life. And also I have to face many barriers, symbolic, as Maria says, like the hyper masculine image of the job, like in our imagine the courier is strong, fast, and competitive, and we don't see women in the media. Like, I'm talking about 5 years ago, we don't see women in the media which is fast, strong, and a very good courier, I would say. And And also then the practical barrier, like when I arrived, that was also the first woman in the company. It was 20 men, and we were in the small hub of 30 square meters. So in these 30 square meters, you have the office, you have the mechanic area, you have the garage, you have the brake area, you have a table, you have but you know, like you have toilets. So when you enter in this area, you don't have area to rest. So you have to share everything, and everything is dirty. Even the toilet, like you have pee everywhere. Like it's crazy. You cannot even touch the toilet because you know, like it's full of the pee of your colleagues. So at the beginning, you are like, okay, so this will be my space. I will have to deal with it. Like, should I clean or should I'm okay to have pee every day on this toilet. So then, but there is a small movement, but it's fine. Then I will talk about my relation with the environment. Like, first of all, the clients. Like, I had many reflection about them. Like surprise, like, oh, I thought it would be a man. Like I already said in a previous workshop, like they don't think women are capable to write, and they don't think women are capable to carry as much as men. And also, my voice is pretty deep, so most of the time the customers think I'm a boy when I answer the phone, and I would say like half of the time. But this is an extra surprise for the customers. And then there is also from the customer a mix of condescension. I don't know to say it, but it's a mix of this and infantilization and flirtation. Like, oh, careful, it's heavy. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Oh, but you are so pretty. It will be shame for you to be injured. So it's like, I want to be nice, but you are not nice, saying this. And then the last one is when they are doing too much, like over-the-top praises. Wow, amazing. Oh, wow, you are so brave. Yeah, thanks, but too much. I don't need this.
By the way, if you're not pretty, it's not a big deal if you get injured. Yeah.
By the way.
You're ugly.
Up to you.
And then I will try to explain you how I found my place in this world. So I will explain you in 3 times, like when I became a courier girl, like as a rookie, how I deal with it. Then how I deal with it when I became a bit more experienced, and then how I deal with it as a co-partner manager, like how can I help the other girls. So I think at the beginning I was totally wrong with everything, but what I did. So my reaction when I entered in this company, the name was Le Maillon Vert. It was a company, not a cooperative. And I wanted to show that I was as strong as a guy, even more strong than them. So giving up on comfort, fear, because I was fear of sleeping, like slippering in the street, because at the beginning I fell a lot. So every time when it was raining a bit in Marseille, the floor is very slippery. So I was very, very afraid of this. And so I just, in order to meet the male expectation, I was thinking to be better than them. So I took a competitive and dominant stance to earn respect, and my coworkers, friends, put it coin on myself to continue like this because, for example, one of them, he was calling me at the end of the morning, like asking me, okay, Manon, how much did you deliver to this morning? Like to compare, are you a good courier or not? And inside, I wanted to show him, yes, I'm fucking good, and I will show you that I will impress you. So I was every time in this competitive mood. And also at the beginning of my experience, I was with a dispatch, and this dispatch was a male of 50 years old, a previous bike messenger who was doing this on his own. And he was also a guy from the army. And he was fucking bad to speaking to the courier guy. So I was showing this, so I wanted also him to impress him. So that's why I was doing a lot. But I'm saying this because I'm not satisfied of the solution that I found, and that's why I want to tell you how now I can see the thing. Like if I will recommend, I will never do that now, because I was showing this model to the other, and I don't want this to be repeating. And also, I just did like men did, the same, just with another sex. And so as a courier messenger, which has some years of experience, I will say now I will take the time, instead of being in a rush every time, I will take the time to do the thing well. I will also think that claiming a different kind of performance, like caring attention to the customers, and I think it's good for the team, but also for the customers. I will stop to overplay physical strengths, and I will walk cleanly, and I will know my limits, and I will also tell my limits to my colleague and to the other one. I will stop to take shift too heavy or too long. I will say, no, this, I'm not able to do it, or this, today, I have my period, I have bad news, or it's too warm today, like it's 35 degrees outside, we cannot do that, like just call the customer, we will do it tomorrow. Also, I will find a balances position in my workplace relationship. Like, I forget to say something previously, but also with colleagues there is, I forget about, but anyway. Also with colleagues at the beginning was nice and also a bit tough, because I don't know if it was the same for you girls, but when you are a girl and you enter in a 20 team of boy, you are the same age, and like I would say like 50% of the team will try to flirt with you at the beginning. So you can flirt with him if you want to flirt with him, but then you have to pass this step, then you can become a colleague, and then or friends. But you have this month or this time that you need time for them to understand that not you don't want, or yes you want, but not that much. And so yeah, I will say that now I will find my place, and I will say no to infantilization, seduction. I will also develop a neutral steady tone. Like at the beginning, I was a lot on my nerves, yelling a lot or speaking loudly to be listening. So now I will say I can be more calm for that. Also, I would love to, like I'm already doing it, but I would love to build more alliances. To la courserie, we are a lot of women, and a lot of men applied came to see us, especially because in Marseille I know that there is a society where we employed women and where we don't say no, because there is other society in Marseille where they say no when they saw the resume. It's a girl, okay, you are not able to deliver every stuff, so go to La Courserie. And also like recently we had like bad news. One of my colleagues, female, she's been aggressed in the streets. So we took time to share this with her and with everybody when we get deal with that. So we take time to put her on the side. She got to see a psychologue, to a doctor, etc. But yeah, we take time to share our experience between lady or also between the other men. Yeah, I think I'm repeating about the same thing that I said already. Like, yeah, I accept to be. I will accept to be tired, and I will slow down in my efforts. And also, I'm saying this like I want to know my limits, because if I want to be in a long-term strategy with La Courserie, I cannot go. I cannot to be on 150% of myself. Now I decide to be on 90, 80%, and as we share the work, as we share the administrative, as we share the problems, if everybody is on 80 or 90%, it's fine. But at the beginning, I give too much, so that's why I was a bit on my nerves and it was hard for me at the beginning. But now it's better. So yeah, that's why I was to propose new rhythm, new way of organization, and to that we all identify moments when we are over, like we cannot finish this moment, this day, this tourney. And finally, I want to talk about like how I'm doing it as a co-manager, but more or less the same, just like I'm talking about co-manager because at La Courserie, as we are a society, there is partners and there is employees. We are 4-5 partners and there is 1-2 employees. People are employees because they don't want to be partners, and because people are partners because they want to be partners. And so as a co-managing partner, I will say like when woman is there or when woman is coming or when woman is working, or even a man, like we will take time to train the team even if we face like financial issue and stuff, like we decide to take time to dedicated moment for that to be well trained, and also not to tell them all the issues that we have about the economic situation later on if they want to discuss about it, but not in the first time, because we have been faces of this previously, and it wasn't good for them, that it told us. And also I would say as a woman in a leadership role, I will try to, as I was saying, staying calm as much as I can. Like I got an example, like 2 or 3 years ago when we start La Courserie, one of our customers that I know well, it's a prothesist, so a guy who made prothèses for the dentist. Jean-Claude Sanchez for his name, and he was very nice, but at the end of the month, he doesn't pay his bill, or it took time. So at one point, I came to him and I said, okay, Jean-Claude, now you need to pay us. We wait for 30 days. Now it's time. Like, we won't wait longer. We cannot. I repeat. And then at one point, I speak loudly. So he told me that I was an hysterical woman, and I was bipolar. Like, I can be calm and. So this was like 2 years ago, and now this same Jean-Claude on Earth 2,000 euros. So at one point, I said to my colleague, like, I don't want to be in charge anymore to ask to the client the money. Like, let's send the email, etc. But in fact, I changed my mind, and I came to see back this Jean-Claude, and I was speaking very calm with him. So in this way, it doesn't have to say that I'm an hysterical woman. And now, the final goal is like every 2 weeks, I'm coming to search my money, and Jean-Claude give me a part of the money that is on us. But I have to fight, but I have the solution. But because I have to speak the language that he wanted me to speak to him. And as a partner, like, I will also want to encourage participation to people, women, non-binary, binary, thank you. And also, like we do meetings every month, so we get time to speak about stuff like this, or we can do also extra meeting when it's urgent. And also we do have a ritual like emptying your bag. So it's like when you are the dispatch, you ask him to empty his bag in order that he don't forget a paper or put it in the bag. But also, like, empty your bag. Tell me what you have in your heart. Thank you. So tell me what's wrong today to you. Tell me your pain. And voilà. I know, yes. No, I wanted to say that I think now it's not that easy to be a woman in this job, but for me, like, I'm very proud of what I'm doing, how much I changed since the beginning. So now I'm thinking, like, it's a fucking opportunity to be a woman, to reshape the way and to change the thing. And thank you for the CoopCycle to inviting me, and thank you for the sharing that we made and we will make. Yeah. Do you have something or question?
How do you deal with the situation of aggression on the road? I think every cooperative with non-male members knows the issue that a colleague of yours comes back from the road and having been aggressed, and it's as a very visibly probably tall male, it's rather happening rarely, or especially not with the same intensity. And how do you deal with it internally, like, in order to take care about the person? And also, how do you make male colleagues understand the difference between what an experience can be for a non-male member and them?
I don't know how the male, how we do to alert our male colleagues, because they are already well alert, I will say. And I think we know each other for many years now, and I think we build relations that we teach each other. And some people came in the company and they teach us some stuff, then they leave. So even with you, I'm learning stuff and I will teach them stuff. So yeah, to react to answer like how we deal with a situation of aggressive situation. Like for this example, it was a guy who was saying how much she was sexy, and then he slapped her ass when she was on a bike. So it was a high level, and I knew that at noon at my break when I went to eat at the hub. So the guy who was on the dispatch react like the girl tell him, and he say, okay, now can you come back to the hub? Like you stop, you come back. How are you? So he talked with her a lot, and then she said like she wanted to go to the doctor at her place. So we give her as much space that she wanted, as much attention that she wanted, and many weeks later we keep to be in contact of this after, like, okay, have you seen the doctor? Okay, do you have a rendezvous with your psycho? Okay, how do you feel? Do you want to come back on this Monday on the bike, or is it too early for you? Like, we react like this, but I don't know if you have other idea. I will be kind to know it.
Yeah, I think that the most important is maybe to ask first the person how you want, how they want you to react, like before doing anything. I don't know if you like see what I mean, but
yeah. True.
Yeah, just to complete.
Yes.
I was wondering how you manage to have team meeting or social time. Do you do it at night or during?
Every month, at the very beginning of month at night after 7.
Do you think it's good like it is right now, enough, or
yes,
would you like more?
Like we just started this, like I will say, only a year ago, and it changed a lot. It changed a lot because, like, even now, I already prepared some stuff for the meeting, and in fact, like we have a pre-order in our drive, so we all wrote in a different color what we will say. So before the meeting, we read the thing. So when we arrive in the meeting, we are prepared. So normally the meeting is not that long, but sometimes you have beer, so it's longer. But no, if you are well structured, normally the meeting is not that long, and it's great to be together, to have a time to be all together once a month. If not now, as we are working a lot, like sometimes we are not as close as we were before, because there is tension like everywhere in job.
And yeah, it's always like
yes.
that. And the ritual about empty your bag.
Yeah.
You said it's like at the end of the day, or
no, it's like when you want. Like we all know, like you can empty your bag. Me, sometimes I'm just calling the dispatch. I say, okay, this happened. Like I just wanted to talk with you of this, because I'm on my own all around the day. So if I don't say it to somebody, I will think about it all day long. And it's better to speak, to evacuate the thing, I guess.
And last question, anybody, but you talk about shared responsibilities to shield the team. Something like this was written. What do you mean?
like we wanted to, like I said, it was about the financial issue. Like we don't want to, like if you are in a, for example, one of our employees is a mechanician and he's a courier guy. So we give him a budget every month, but as now, like our situation is very tight, so we are like, okay, this budget is kind of too much, but we don't want him to be on pressure of this. We just want him to do a good job and to have the key of repairing well our bikes. So we don't put pressure of him by saying this to him, you know? So that's why I was saying separating. Did I answer to your question?
In a way, yeah.
Yes. I don't know if.
So you said you have 5 partners.
Yeah, 4 or 5 because
4 or 5.
one leave, one came, and employees the same because one leave, one came.
Yeah, and among the 5 partners, you separate.
And the partners, we have like responsibility. One the facturation, one the RH, the other one the communication, the other one commercialization, and then we have stuff we do all together. But every year we are better organized. But I won't say that we are well organized. We can do better, I think.
Always, thank you.
Welcome. Yes.
Thank you for the presentation. You gave a concrete example of a case. Sorry. Thanks for the presentation. You gave a concrete example of sexual harassment case, and I wanted to touch on a point and ask you. It came up yesterday as well. Do you have a code of conduct written in your company for behaviour with colleagues, behaviour with customers, sexual harassment, either at work or from customers? Do you have anything written down?
If I have any concrete?
A code of conduct.
We do have a policy, like when we start, we all sign it and read it. So this are described, but I think we can do more. We can do better, and we can, like, I don't think all I say today it's writing down, because this policy was writing down 3 years ago. But I will update it.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
non-cis male collective that they have in our bikes present. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's your turn.
Thank you. What do I? Can I just?
Yeah, I think you can put it in your pocket
keep
or
it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, put it in your pocket.
Okay. And how do I switch on this? Is it just pushing forward?
Is this here?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think.
Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. I'm very impressed by all of you sitting here for so long, listening to all of these things. And now I'm gonna talk a little bit. My name is Clara. I use they/them pronouns, and I work in Byexpressen as a part-timer. I've worked there for a bit more than a year now. And I'm here to talk about an initiative that we have in Byexpressen that is a separatist work group. So it's a work group within Byexpressen, but that is only for women, trans, non-binary, intersex, and agender plus people. We call it VTNBIA plus. Yeah, so I just said it, but like some of these abbreviations, maybe some people don't know or know them as something else, but this is what VTNBIA plus stands for. Women, trans, non-binary, intersex, agender. The asterisk, as you also see on the logo, implies like an more open interpretation. So instead of saying transgender, which means like switching, like almost binarily in between genders, it's more open to different experiences and gender identities. I know that a lot of German people know it as Flinta or Finta. It was mentioned before. Yeah, and I think it's just nice to have something that where you don't say non-cis male, because it's like maybe naming what those non-cis male people are. And just like an encouragement, like I know that sometimes these wordings and terms and all this kind of stuff can feel a little bit intimidating almost, or like what do we use, how do you say it, what's the right way, what's the not right way. And there are a lot of resources online and probably also in your community, and it's okay to acknowledge that there's stuff you don't know, but it's really nice to show that you want to learn. That means a lot. So ask away, look it up, and also throughout this presentation, just raise your hand if you have any questions. Yeah. So the group is a separatist group, right? So it's only for couriers in the company that are not cis male. And we have monthly and scheduled and paid meetings. So we meet once a month. And it's like you come if you can, and it's scheduled for you in like for the previous month. The next month is scheduled with the meeting, so everyone knows what time it is. It's the same, like second Wednesday, Tuesday. It's on the same day every month. And it was partly inspired by Star BMA, which maybe some of you know, that was started in North America, that you can also check out for yourself. But they were working to showcase, engage, support, blah, 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 couriers that don't benefit from cis male privilege. So maybe some of you have been to some of the championships where they have these like forums, and it is a separatist space, which was also an important thing for us in our group to make it like that. So we started in February of 2024 and have now been going for more than a year, and it's still going strong. So why make a group like this? I mean, Byexpressen, as probably many of the places that you work, is like self-organized, right? And sometimes that can like also blur some things. We're on the road a lot, we're doing a lot of things. It's like fast-paced. And sometimes we forget to address that the issues that we see in our everyday lives or we experience as people are actually also structures that go into the company, right? We all carry some sort of baggage from socialization, whatever community you grew up in, and positionality, which is like where are you positioned in relation to other people, right? It's like gender, it's sexuality, it's like racialization and all of these things. So you're positioned in different ways within the company, right, to each other. So we created this group to be able to address the issues that we were seeing that had to do with trans misogyny or misogyny. I put it like this because it's like trans misogyny is also a very valid thing. It's like misogyny sometimes excludes that, right? It's like what happens, I mean, in my experience, it's like as a non-binary person that presents like this, I experience a lot of misunderstanding of my gender being understood as a, or seen as a woman. So it's like working with both misogyny towards like cis women or cis passing women, and also trans misogyny for trans people that are maybe female passing or whatever. So as I said, it's like acknowledging power structures like patriarchy, like male domination, white supremacy, like white people's supremacy, and it's like it's not something that individual people in the company decide to perpetrate. It's something that will always exist, and just by not talking about it, it's not going to change anything, right? We have to acknowledge that these structures come into our life just as they come into our personal relationships with our partner or partners. So making this group was like an acknowledgement that the whole collective or cooperative were willing to address this and had to be willing to address it. So we could work with it within the company and outwards. And then also we believe that separatism is a strategy that's really important politically to be able to create these safer spaces to talk about things. So some of the questions that kind of like sparked it, which maybe some of you have also thought about, or maybe you should start thinking about, is like, what is an ideal messenger? Like a lot of people before the other presentations were talking about this, like what are the ideals? Like what makes a good messenger? What do we value as important skills? What language do we use? How do we address one another? And then also really important is who sits with which responsibilities or roles in the cooperative. So just having a lot of non-cis male Flinta people in the company as writers, but not necessarily as dispatchers or people doing finance, people hiring. Like, it has to be the whole structure, right, that we try to integrate or like get people into that. So yeah, and then like why do we lack VTNBIA couriers? So these are like questions that come up that are really important to think about and that we think about in the group. Then one thing I also wanted to highlight is like oppression, patriarchal oppression as a topic versus lived experience. So like gender inclusivity is not something that gender minorities choose to like highlight, right? It's not something that we choose to have on a general assembly once a year. It's like, it's experiences that we live every single day working. So, and it was kind of to my point earlier about what we see as work and what we don't see as work. So like, patriarchal oppression is work that gender minorities do every single day, right? It's like something that they have to work with every single day, experiencing that. So it's not sufficient to see it as an interesting topic to discuss, because it's there and we experience it. Yeah, and then that also kind of like is an argument towards having like regular meetings every month to like acknowledge that it's something that's ongoing and it probably won't go away. Yes. So just to be very concrete, the meetings look like this. We have like a template for all of our meetings, and it always includes having time to check in. So we will sit down and we will do a round of like, how are you doing today? And maybe some people were working that day and are really tired, or some people had an off day and are super stoked about meeting. Yeah, and then we have some time set up for like urgent topics or experiences. So if someone has something that's not necessarily on the agenda that they want to talk about, they have time to do it there. And then otherwise the agenda is pretty open. We kind of like write out, does anyone have something for the agenda? And then people can come with inputs for that. And then we have 1 hour scheduled, paid. But sometimes it's like a little short, right? It's like if you're discussing a really heavy topic about harassment on the street or sexism within the company, it's like something we have to keep on thinking about and working on. It's not like doing it once a month is not necessarily enough. And then this I think is really nice that our scheduler puts in the schedule for all the VTNBIA plus people in advance so that no one is dispatching or riding at that time. So that's like a really important thing, right? It's not everyone should be available at that time. And then for the money. So 1 hour meetings scheduled and paid. And like I wanted to highlight this because emotional labor is oftentimes seen as work that is not entitled to payment. And we also had this like internal discussion of like, do we have to ask someone to get paid? Like, who do we ask? Are we entitled to payment for this work? Which is a pretty classic like need for male validation that I have experienced many times in my life. And I think it's really important that we need this work for the whole company, right? It's like not only for gender minorities, it's also for the cis men in the company. It's gonna better the experience for everyone. So it's really important work that betters the whole company and is actual work. It's like implementing changes to structure, implementing workshops, implementing all of these things. So it's like actual work and it should be paid. Yeah, maybe you're familiar with this feeling of certain types of labor being valued and certain types of labor not being valued. Yes. And then, like, we are our own best consultants, right? It's like we could pay someone else to come out and teach us about sexism at work, but we acknowledge that we have people within the company that live these experiences and they are experts in their own right. So what is it actually that we do? Well, it's a lot of different things. We work in a non-punitive way, which means we don't work with punishment, like sanctions or exclusions, or we try to. We also have a conflict resolution group that's also working with thinking about how do we think about oppression as something that affects us all, and is something we all want to work on and get better at not perpetrating. So we do a lot of talking about experiences at work. So it could. Did you want to say something? Oh. It could be a gender minority dispatcher that has a hard time with the communication and feels like they're treated differently than the male dispatchers. Or it can be experiences of sexualization or flirtation within the work, or feeling like you have to give something more than just the work, right? It's like you have to give it being nice. Like it's expected for you to be nice and not angry, or just not just normal. And then we've worked with like social rights and like building community in a wider context. So we work internally and also externally. Internally means like within the company. What are the structures we see in the company? What are the experiences with sexism or transmisogyny or misogyny that we see within the company? And then also like, what do we experience on the street? What do we experience with clients? So for example, there was a sheet that was made where we can put in experiences we've had with clients, so we can have an overview of like, are there some clients that, you know, repeatedly make comments about our queer couriers, for example. So it's really a lot of different things that we do, and it's very open, and anyone can do it and do it in different ways. Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the challenges, though it is the most boring part. But one of the things that we discuss a lot is like, how do we turn talking into action? Because it's really easy to talk about the hundreds of experiences you've had with sexism, or all of the structural things you see within Byexpressen that needs to be better or more inclusive. But how do you actually make those changes, right? What does that look like? How do we imagine that? And that can be really difficult. So Byexpressen has these BIPs, Byexpressen Improvement Plan? Proposal? Where anyone can like propose an improvement to the company. Byexpressen, so the company, improvement proposal.
What is
Byexpressen, like the company. Yeah, it's not very important really. It's just a suggestion for how to do things better. So that's one thing that we talk a lot about and that I don't necessarily have the answer for. And then another thing that is a limit to this kind of group, working in a separatist group, is how to get the rest of the collective engaged. And we discussed this a little bit, like, or not discuss, we agree a lot on it, but it's not enough for tolerance of the group, right? Tolerance is never really what we're looking for. We need like active engagement. So accepting that the group is there from the cis men is not enough, right? It's like, because if they just accept it's there, then the group will never be able to expand out into the whole company. We need active engagement from the other people to implement the things that we suggest, or look internally at how am I affected as a cis man by patriarchy? In which ways do I perpetrate patriarchy? How do I speak to my colleagues? What do I think of them even before I've talked to them if a new person comes into the company? Like all of these things. So a limit is that the group can only reach as far as the rest of the company agrees to, right? Like we can always keep working within the separatist group, just keep talking and talking and talking. But if the rest of the company doesn't follow that, we're never gonna get anywhere. And that's also like risking that the workload is on the gender minorities in the company, which is like, you know, it's like you're in a relationship where there's a patriarchal relation and someone is doing all the work, right? It's probably not the man. So there's already a lot of work on people being oppressed. And this making this group and not having the collective engage just puts even more work on them, right? Yeah, and I study gender studies, and it used to be called women's studies, which I think is kind of saying for this. It's like, oh, we have to like study the women to figure out what's wrong. And then they changed it into gender studies because finally we found out that we can't only look at the women or cis women. We also have to look at men, right? We have to look at what are the relational aspects and what is the rest of the gender spectrum. Yeah, and then there are some suggestions for what the rest of the collective can do. I mean, it would be nice if there was a separatist cis male group, right, also working. But then there are the benefits. So, I mean, separatism creates a safer space where people generally understand each other's experiences better. So, sometimes sitting in a group with people that live other experiences, cis men, can take a lot of explanation. So if I share an experience, it takes a lot of explaining to say what that experience is, how it feels, and sometimes we also meet not being heard, mansplaining, someone trying to explain what you're feeling. And we take that away with the separatism. And yeah, like other people mentioned this, we have a fast-paced job. It's on the street. You see your coworkers maybe a couple of minutes a day if they're working. And having these repetitive meetings creates some sort of feeling that you can go to someone if you experience something during a workday, or that you have a space to talk about something. And this will eventually lead to people not quitting, right? That's the idea, that knowing who to go to in your cooperative, which can be hard, and knowing that you have a safe space where people experience the same things as you and understand you and are willing to listen, will eventually lead to you not quitting because of lacking those things, right? So it's like sustainability within the company. Yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, you're very welcome to ask them. It's also okay if you don't. Either one.
Thanks. It was really, really, really interesting. I just have one question. So you said that this working group exists since years now?
It's been going on for a bit more than a year in the company.
Yeah. And I just wanted to know, how did the people react when the idea was first mentioned, and when, at the beginning?
Yes.
How was it?
Yeah. I mean, so I technically wasn't working in the company when it began, but I have two experts sitting down here.
Okay. I think a lot of the WTNB writers were very excited about it. So I think there was, I wouldn't say everyone, but I think it was a big minority that was yeah, we want this and we need this. And I think there were also a lot of supportive cis men in the group, but there were some voices that were critical about it. There were two questions mainly. One was why separatism? Why should we split if we want to create a united group or a united workplace? But I think, you already mentioned, all the counter arguments why separatism is important and can not split, but in the long run unite more. And the other thing was the pay question, that people were this, or cis men. Some cis men were this is not shouldn't be paid, kind of. So these were kind of the two critical points. but then we did it anyway, and it ended up being fine.
Yeah. Good question. There was another hand.
I'm not sure if I understand well, but you said the group was open, so if I want to join one meeting, I can?
It's like open within the company,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So it's like everyone who works is scheduled, like all the VTNBIA
Yeah.
people are scheduled, but it's not like we don't have everyone show up every time.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
You say it's within BIX or within the DC?
Within BUX.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's important to keep it local, right? It's like because we're working with in a specific culture within Byexpressen, but I really encourage all other cooperatives to do this. It's very beneficial.
I just had a quick add-on to what Robin said about the response to the creation of this work group, and I specifically remember like a cis male cooperativist who acknowledged that like gender discrimination absolutely exists in wider society, but somehow, as if by magic, our cooperative is somehow immune to that,
Mhm.
which is is kind of magical thinking that you encounter in this kind of case.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting, right? Because we work with our friends, and like we really enjoy working with our colleagues, and that, I mean, it should lead to that you want to listen more, right? It's like you want to better the experience of your colleague, but then it also works kind of twofold, because you're also scared to admit that you're perpetrating certain structures upon your colleague. And especially in Danish culture, conflict culture, there is this understanding that people perpetrate individually. So racism, for example, you're only racist if you say something racist to another person, right? You're only sexist if you say you're sexist or say that you, say something sexist. And which is not how oppression works, right? It's much more subtle than that, and it's not individuals that decide to perpetrate it or not. I mean, some more than others, of course, white supremacists, but we all live with these structures within us, and it's important for this work to work, that we start thinking about oppression as not individually perpetrated, but collectively perpetrated, right? It's something we do together, whether we want it or not. Yeah.
So my question, well, thank you very much for the explanation. It's very inspiring to listen to all of this. My question would be like, after a year or a year and a half of the group going on, what are your feelings? Do you think something has changed within the whole company? And also now that Sebastian talked about the men that were not like, they were kind of, what the fuck is this? Have they changed their point of view, or they are still kind of?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and I speak mostly from my own experience working in BUX and working with this group, which is that for me, entering BUX, knowing that this work group was existing, did a lot for me. Like, I've used the group to vent about experiences that I've had in the workplace where action has been taken towards, like, a specific courier or like talking to them. So it's like that helped me a lot, and knowing that I every month can go to this meeting and we can talk about things does a lot, and I think it does a lot for all the gender minorities in BUX. But I do think we struggle with, like, one of the limits was, like, how do we make that change in the company? But I think it does change people's perception, like, of work, right? It's like, we've been doing this for a year, and we get paid for it, so at some point, people start to, you know, especially the cis men start to, like, it's part of the job, right? It's like, and the new people that get employed in Byexpressen, they know that that's, you know, we do that every single month, and that's something that we value as a workspace, which says a lot, and you have to be, like, accepting and engaging in that. So I think having it does a lot, like, changes a lot in the culture, but we definitely need more active engagement, and some things have changed, but much more can change. Yeah, it's a lifelong work, you know. Yeah.
I wanted to say something also adding to this. Like, for me, my personal experience is I'm a little bit tired of trying to explain things to not to cis men in this case, yeah. So for me, it's also more about how do you behave, you know? It's like, for me, I don't really need you to understand something. You just don't behave like this in this space. And for me, it's like the end of the conversation, you know? Because, like, also, I do understand that when you understand something, when you integrate this, you are going to change your behavior.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's like this takes so much time, like, to educate, like, someone, that for me, like, the faster thing is like, okay, this behavior, this thing that you made is, like, not okay. Like, if you want to understand it, then we can have a talk about 4 or 5 hours
Mhm.
or whatever. I can borrow you a book, I can do whatever.
Yeah.
But first of all, don't do this.
Yeah.
And then we can, I don't know, because we can talk about it, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, and something that's necessary to think about when you start these kinds of groups is what work do we want to do and what work do we not want to do. Like, I'm not in this group to sit down and educate every cis man in the company. Like, me sitting down with someone and being like, this is what sexism looks like, you know, it's like, that's not necessarily my responsibility, but I do want to make work to change structures or change culture, and then maybe someone else, the cis men, can educate each other, you know? It's like, we do have a lot of people that are very actively engaged and think about these kinds of things that are also cis male, and I think they could do a lot to educate each other. Yeah, so I think it's really important to think about what work do you want to do, what work do you not want to do, like, yeah. Thank you. Oh, that's another question. Sorry, I was.
So just a quick last question: are you in your in this I call it work group now?
Yeah.
For the lack of a better, are you talking about cases where you would have the necessity to obtain justice, and what justice means, and like how to get there, or
Yeah.
models of restorative justice?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I did say that we, like, try to work non-punitively, like, without punishment. Right now, it's been looking like we bring up conflict in the group, and then it kind of gets externalized to other groups. We have a team group that's, like, takes care of the team, and then we are also beginning to work on a conflict resolution group, which is another work group that works with restorative justice. So restorative justice is a way of working with conflict where you have more parties included and you're not working to punish anyone. It's like, how do we try not to call the police on someone? Like, how can we stay away from authority? Your boss, the police, like the guard, and how can we solve these conflicts ourselves so it's better for everyone? Because we know punishment doesn't work, right? Yeah. So that conflict group is working with creating a specific structure for Byexpressen specifically that lets us deal with conflict that maybe arises because of sexism. And there we're discussing the question of justice, because we do also acknowledge that some of these processes can take a really long time, and that some behavior is like really difficult to work with, and that maybe we're not capable of working with. So we're really trying to figure out, like, do we want to be able to exclude people from the company? Like, a lot of times if you have a policy, it's like, you can have an inclusion policy, but what actually happens when you then break the inclusion policy? And people don't really have structures for that right now. So we're trying to work with it, but not in this group. Yeah.
Okay, so there's going to be
Question.
Oh.
Okay, we have like 15 more.
Okay, sorry.
Maybe
Because
last
it's
question?
I think it's gonna be long.
I will try to keep it short.
My question is, how do you separate punishment from consequences?
Yeah.
So if you do that, I will do that.
Yeah.
This is a punishment or a consequence.
Yeah. That's also a good question. And we had a meeting a couple of months ago where I had experienced harassment on the street, and I was like, okay, maybe actually I should have, just ridden my bike after him and slapped him. It's like, in that case, like the violence he perpetrates towards me and not expecting consequences, like, I'm not gonna stop him and talk to him about it. He's like 60 years old. But I do want him to feel that he's not entitled to do that. And so in some ways we talk about, like, what is punishment, right? It's like, if you hit someone, is it punishment or is it... but do you want to add something? No?
So for example, inside the cooperative?
Yeah, inside the cooperative. Yes.
We agree that we are not admitting like machismo or racism, and
Yeah.
you do that, so you're not.
And then what happens?
Do you have to leave, or you can stay and we try to talk?
I think I will encourage everyone to look into restorative justice, not only for your company's sake, but also for your own sake. It will better your relationships. Restorative
like
justice.
Circles?
Yeah, exactly. And so the idea with a restorative circle is that you have the parties involved, which is not always perpetrator. It's not always the person who hurt someone else. It can also be that you hurt someone in the company and the whole company is affected. So it's like the parties involved meet, and then there is someone functioning as a
middle person.
Yeah, someone who's like neutral, right? And then you try to create some sort of, at least how I've experienced it, create some sort of a constructive like plan to get out of the conflict. So that could look like, maybe it would be nice if you went to therapy. Okay, maybe that's a weird one. Like, I would like you to read this book and show me that you've changed within blah, blah, blah. And then we try to reassess, so it's like, that's not punishment, right? I wouldn't say so. I think it's constructive. It's like you're trying. It is very thin, yeah.
Sorry, can I say something? Because I'm really struggling over time. So it's like
Yeah.
One.
I thought that there were just maybe two people that, no?
Okay, yeah, but the thing is, okay, it was supposed to have another presentation. We are already out of the time that we were supposed to do. Like, I don't know, what do you want to do? You want to keep doing this and then have lunch, or do we want to pass
Maybe we can.
I think we can talk about this. Yeah, everyone look up restorative justice, make separatist groups in your collectives. Yeah, definitely. I think you should get something to eat and feel free to talk to each other about it and come ask me about it and yeah.
Sorry. You were aiming to Audi. At 1:05, you can just go on your bike and go as fast as possible because it's people that are really like on schedule.
Nuri. Okay, we have the last presentation of the morning. That is Nuri from Mensacas, Barcelona, and she's gonna present in Spanish. So you have, all of you, you have on your channel, on CoopCycle channel, Telegram, the translation, if you want, if you need it, okay?
They need to go to the Spanish channel.
They need to go to the Spanish channel, okay. Spanish channel, it is a translation in between Spanish and English.
Qué fracaso. ¿Qué se pasa con el de esto, no?
Sí, sí, con las dos, la de la izquierda y la de la derecha.
La última pasa Carmen, ¿verdad? ¿Cómo has quedado con ella?
Es que no sé si quiere hablar y yo no quiero para nadie.
Vale. ¿Quieres salir o no?
Okay. So, hello, Nuri is going to explain like what they were doing about the gender protocol inside of this birthday thing that we are doing in the Spanish cooperative. And she's going to do it in, hello, how are you? Okay, thank you. I'm feeling a little bit tired, so it will be very grateful if you help me with this. Okay, I'm sorry to be a little bit rude, but I think it's necessary. So, my colleague really wants to start, and I don't know if you feel like listening or going to bullet. I don't really care, but at least to have like this quiet space so she can really talk. Thank you.
Vale. Bueno, os voy a presentar un poco lo que estamos haciendo con las cooperativas de la península ibérica. El PERTE es un proyecto, una subvención que conseguimos varias cooperativas para tratar el tema de la perspectiva de género. ¿Cómo se pasa esto? Ok. Creo que es importante también decir que esto se está desarrollando en el marco de un proyecto porque hay financiación para ello. Uno de los principales problemas que creo que tenemos en la cooperativa es la incapacidad de trabajar muchas veces o dedicarle más tiempo al tema de género por una cuestión de precariedad y falta de recursos para ello. Como vimos que esto es un problema presente y también en CoopCycle decidimos hace un par de años dedicar recursos a desarrollar todo el tema de género, pero en ningún momento se han conseguido recursos o se han buscado para desarrollar el tema de género, lo hicimos a nivel estatal, a nivel de España, con más cooperativas y Mensacas nos encargamos también de coordinar parte de esta cuestión. Yo os voy a explicar 4 cosas básicas y luego Auri pasará a hablar de un par de definiciones y algunos ejemplos que igual resuenen con las distintas cuestiones que hemos estado tratando en las presentaciones durante el día de hoy. Vale, durante el proyecto de este PERTE decidimos llevar a cabo un plan de igualdad. De hecho, el protocolo antiacoso que queremos desarrollar y extrapolar a CoopCycle entra dentro de lo que sería un plan de igualdad. ¿Por qué un plan de igualdad o por qué un protocolo antiacoso? Bueno, creo que estas jornadas pues, han servido muchísimo para visibilizar las distintas situaciones en las que nos podemos encontrar como mujeres y disidencias durante nuestras jornadas laborales. Creo que se han hablado de muchísimas cosas también a través de las presentaciones, como dinámicas durante el día a día y también respecto a las distintas violencias que nos pueden atravesar en nuestros puestos de trabajo. Esto es algo que he hablado también en algún workshop o he hablado en presentaciones anteriores, pero una de las razones viene también dada por un diagnóstico que hicimos en Mensacas, parecido a las experiencias que hemos ido compartiendo ayer y hoy en nuestras cooperativas. En Mensacas hicimos una encuesta, para resumiros un poco, en esta encuesta participaron un 35% de mujeres y disidencias y un 65% de hombres cis. Una de las preguntas que hacíamos en esta encuesta es si piensas que Mensacas es un proyecto igualitario. El 60% respondieron que no y el 40% que sí. De este 40% todo eran hombres. También preguntamos si pensaban que en Mensacas la distribución de roles era equitativa. Otra vez, 55% respondió que no y el 45% que sí. De este 45% todo eran hombres cis. Luego hicimos otras preguntas, como si en el lugar de trabajo habías observado algún tipo de discriminación, tanto fuera o dentro de la cooperativa. Y podemos ver que sigue siendo bastante mayor la cantidad de mujeres que sí han observado, mientras que es mayor la cantidad de hombres que dicen no haber observado situaciones de discriminación ni dentro ni fuera de la cooperativa. Algo que hemos estado hablando estos días es de 2 dimensiones, así dividimos también los workshops en lo que pasa dentro y lo que pasa fuera de la cooperativa, ¿no? Es decir, situaciones que nos encontramos dentro y fuera y qué herramientas o de qué manera las podemos abordar. En la encuesta estas son algunas de las experiencias que también contaron algunas compañeras. Una de las compañeras contaba una situación que se había encontrado en el local, en una situación muy violenta con un vecino, y como en aquel momento solo habían hombres y fueron justamente a pararla a ella y no justamente el hombre que estaba ejerciendo la violencia, ¿no? Y luego, bueno, otras cuestiones que ya han salido mucho y de forma repetitiva aquí en cuanto a dentro de la cooperativa, ¿no? Que habla de la discriminación que se sufre diariamente o cómo hay hombres que te dicen cómo debes de hacer tu trabajo. Una de las cuestiones que también vimos a la hora de hacer la encuesta era la falta de conocimiento en cómo se debe de abordar una situación concreta, ¿no? Una de las preguntas que hacíamos era cómo actuarías ante una situación de violencia o qué mecanismos crees que hay que tener para abordar estas situaciones, ¿no? Y hubieran muchísimas respuestas, respuestas muy diversas, pero ninguna se hablaba de una cuestión concreta que esté estipulada por ejemplo, un protocolo, ¿no? Había muy buenas intenciones, pero todo eran ideas distintas, de ir al amigo, de ir a la amiga, de primero ir a una persona u otra, pero sin realmente mucho conocimiento de cuál es la mejor manera de abordar estas situaciones de violencia en las que nos podemos encontrar. Okay. Bueno, ahora un poco la idea va a ser corto como para cerrar algunas definiciones que, y, bueno, aquí no sé si hace falta que lo leas o aquí la tenéis en grande. Hay dos tipos de acoso que podemos definir, dos grandes bloques. Uno es el acoso sexual y otro bloque es el acoso por razón de sexo, ¿no? Son cosas distintas, son definiciones muy básicas. Uno de los principales problemas que tenemos muchas veces es que cuando hay una situación no sabemos definirla, no sabemos ponerle nombre, ¿no? Y esta es una de las principales cuestiones que igual a veces dificultan el camino a tomar para abordar una situación concreta. Algunos ejemplos de acoso sexual que también pueden servir pues, para que nos resuenen un poco más. Perdón, la traducción está en DeepL, así que alguna falta habrá. Pero bueno, estos son algunos de los ejemplos en relación al acoso sexual. Y luego el acoso sexual por razón de sexo, que aquí tenéis la definición, es igual una de las partes más sutiles, que igual a veces cuesta más de identificar, o que nos relacionamos con ciertas dinámicas que se llevan a cabo que realmente son acoso por razón de sexo, ¿no? Puede ser hasta el más mínimo detalle que consideramos más insignificante, pero que realmente entra dentro de lo que sería este bloque. Y aquí, pues bueno, algunos de los ejemplos que puede ser, pues, hacer alguna broma, pero por ejemplo de forma repetitiva, o cuestiones igual un poco más sutiles, pero que generan en la otra persona, pues, una situación de vulnerabilidad. Bueno. Y no voy a tardar mucho más en acabar. Estos son algunos de los ejemplos que están sobre papel, que forman parte de cuando tienes un protocolo y que creo que es una de las bases un poco para poder abordar las situaciones en las que nos vamos encontrando o saber identificarlas. Luego otra cosa importante que salió cuando hablábamos del alcance del protocolo y que también se ha hablado, hasta dónde llega el protocolo, ¿no? Antiacoso no solo llega en relación a la cooperativa, sino también en relación al exterior, a los clientes, a las personas. Salieron algunas iniciativas el otro día que también tratamos cuando hicimos un seminario en relación a eso, ¿no? De qué mecanismos de prevención, tanto para dentro de la cooperativa como para clientes, como decíamos el otro día, de poder mandar un correo donde no se toleran actitudes discriminatorias y tal, también como una condición en las condiciones en los clientes, ¿no? Por ejemplo, etcétera. Y eso es importante porque a veces nos pensamos, o cuando hay cooperativas, por ejemplo, pequeñas, de pocas personas, como si esto no fuera necesario, ¿no? Pero realmente estamos continuamente en ambientes de intercooperación con otras cooperativas, con estructuras más grandes, más pequeñas, de las que formamos parte y donde también se producen todas las cuestiones que hoy hemos estado y ayer hablando. Y bueno, esto ya estaría. Luego creo también que una de las cosas que, bueno, hemos estado hablando mucho, ¿no? Pero de realidades también muy concretas. Hemos hablado del protocolo antiacoso como una herramienta, ¿no? para ciertas situaciones en donde nos encontramos. He puesto solo 2 definiciones. Obviamente es un documento mucho más extenso, con cosas importantes para mí. De las más importantes es las definiciones, pero luego también el abordaje, ¿no? La parte de objetivos y abordaje. La parte de abordaje es súper importante, porque lo que se hace es definir a través de personas profesionales cuál es la mejor manera de abordar una situación cuando una compañera tiene un problema y quiere denunciar o comunicar, porque hay formas de abordar. Puede ser una denuncia, puede ser únicamente una comunicación, igual quiere que sea de forma anónima, igual no quiere que sea de forma anónima, etcétera, ¿no? Por ejemplo, uno de los primeros pasos para el abordaje de cualquier situación es la constitución de una comisión de género, pero esta no se tiene que constituir en el momento que pasa algo, sino que tiene que estar constituida mucho antes, ¿no? Pues todos estos pasos que tienen que ver con la estructura que necesitamos para poder abordar bien cualquier situación entran también dentro de lo que es un protocolo, y por eso pues, es una herramienta bastante necesaria. Y luego ya para finalizar, y era la idea un poco recoger y visibilizar un poco más qué es un protocolo, porque a veces hablamos de protocolo y se mezcla con lo que es el manifiesto, que también es parte del protocolo, es una de las primeras partes, ¿no? Pero pienso que a veces hablamos de un protocolo, pero tampoco tenemos muy claro en qué consiste, qué partes tiene, qué parte es legal, qué parte no, etcétera. Y yo creo que uno de los primeros puntos es empezar por ahí, quizá ir desarrollando esta herramienta práctica y también legal para que sirva para lo que es la estructura de CoopCycle, pero también que sirva para el resto de cooperativas, ¿no? En el caso del Estado español es obligatorio tener un protocolo, puedes tener el tuyo propio o te puedes, en el caso de Cataluña, adherir a un protocolo ya existente de la CHES, que es la Red de Economía Solidaria. Pero en otros lados no hay obligación de tener esta herramienta. Lo bueno es que la obligación de tener que tener esta herramienta nos permite caminar hacia ello y poder compartirlo con otras personas que la puedan tener, aunque no sea legalmente obligatorio, ¿no? Por desgracia, a veces son las obligaciones legales las que nos hacen pues, caminar hacia algo, ¿no? Así que en el caso de España ya estamos caminando hacia eso, y la idea es poder luego extrapolarlo a CoopCycle, revisarlo entre todas, cogiendo un poco lo que se ha trabajado estos días y que sirva como herramienta. Luego se ha trabajado, bueno, otra cosa que comentó ayer Carmena fue el tema de un código de conducta, ¿no? Que también creo que pueden ser herramientas muy útiles y que también pueden servir para tener en cuenta otras realidades, ¿no? Sigue pasando que es verdad que hemos creado un espacio pues, para las mujeres y disidencias, pero igual todavía nos falta que este espacio sea mucho más interseccional, ¿no? Y tener en cuenta también realidades que igual no son tan europeas. Y eso igual también es importante, que haya personas pues, de fuera de Europa con otras realidades que también puedan hablar de cuál tiene que ser el código de conducta, y que este código de conducta no solo aborde las realidades de la mayoría de personas europeas de aquí, sino que empiece a ser un poco más inclusivo también con el resto de realidades. Y creo que con esto está. ¿Seguro?
Okay, so I don't know if somebody wants to say something. Okay, Corinne.
Yo creo que Personalmente creo que en el código de conducta igual se puede especificar mucho más cosas concretas que se han estado hablando hoy aquí, especificando mucho más situaciones concretas. Hemos hablado pues también, ¿no?, de incluso los asientos, un montón de cosas que igual pueden ayudar en este sentido. Creo que igual también se puede poner en el protocolo, pero creo que el protocolo es una herramienta mucho más práctica en violencias concretas, cómo abordarlas. Creo que un código conductual puede hacer referencia a dinámicas del día a día, que igual no definimos como violencia, a que también lo puedan ser, que ayuden pues un poco pues a cambiar las dinámicas del día a día de la cooperativa. No sé si deba de ser en el protocolo donde se hable de estos ejemplos concretos y estos detalles concretos que atraviesan nuestro día a día en el local, en el tema de la limpieza, en el tema de quién acaba recogiendo siempre, en el tema de quién acaba haciendo las mediaciones o los cuidados en la cooperativa, etc. Puede ser algo que esté en el protocolo, pero creo que está bien como complementar código de conducta y la parte de herramienta de protocolo antiacoso, personalmente.
Maybe we can stop this here because I think everybody's a little bit tired. Okay, so thank you very